Go, go, Wolfie Rangers! Hey, Wolfpack, Catastrophe's back with another surprise tier list stream. Yep, we're doing another one. Sorry, just making sure my stuff works. Okay, looks like you can hear me. What's up? Hey, Jon Snow, you actually made it this time. For early for once. Catastrophe's back in the house, and once again, we're talking Power Rangers. Why? Because this time I think I have a short tier list. At least I hope it's short. We may go on for 8 hours again, but we're going to be talking about all the Power Ranger crossovers. Yep, all special crossover events between multiple generations of Power Ranger. All the good to not so good, the bad ones. We got quite a few lackluster ones on here, but I thought it'd be fun, and I thought it'd be a much shorter Power Ranger tier list to do. Hey, Masked Mailard, you made it. Hey, Jon Snow, you made it too. Okay, so I believe I have all 20 crossover specials from the Power Rangers, from the Mighty Morphin era all the way to, I believe, Cosmic Fury or Beast Morphers. It really doesn't matter to me. I haven't watched Cosmic Fury, so got most of all the good episodes. I have actually seen most of these crossovers, so we'll actually have stuff to talk about. But if you're new to this channel, we're doing tier lists again, and I really like the Power Rangers, and I got a lot of people asking me what I've thought about the crossover specials. Since we've been talking about the shows individually, I thought, hey, why not talk about the franchise's special events as a whole? Go, go, crossover Rangers. Hey, Shadowlink, you made it. Yep, I found a tier list with every crossover episode, and thankfully this one had all the titles, so it's much easier for me to remember, and much easier for fans to recognize which is which. Got all 20, I believe, crossover episodes, from Mighty Morphin to Cosmic Fury, and the less said about Cosmic Fury, the better, but got a lot, and the crossover events of Power Rangers are very fun. So, if you don't know, Power Rangers would usually have crossovers, sometimes with a different franchise like The Masked Rider or TMNT, but most of the time with other generations of Rangers. Usually, past Power Rangers would meet the then current team of Power Rangers and do a passing of the torch style crossover event, where the old meets the new, the old gets like their series as plot threads tied up, we see the characters, where are they now, the new generation pays respect to the old generation until we got to some lesser crossovers. The crossover events of Power Rangers are fun, they are capital, they are supposed to be the biggest moment in the franchise's history, and over the years they've kind of drained in quality. We had some great ones still, there's a lot of fun ones on here, but then we got the not so great ones. Hi, Legendary Battle. Over time, Power Rangers has kind of lost its way, and you can really tell in a lot of the later era crossovers, so got a lot to say. A lot of good, a lot of bad, and a lot of what the heck were they thinking with Shell Shocked. Forever Red will be hi. Hi, Cat. Hey, Akira. So, Power Rangers crossovers. Did you watch all these crossovers? Yes, I actually did. Thankfully, I did not have to binge watch entire series. I just kind of cheated and watched these crossovers on their own, mostly because there's not too much continuity, and I have seen all of these crossovers. Some have a lot to talk about, and some I do not, and some we're gonna have fun tearing apart. Hi, Legendary Battle. So I do have to explain, if this is your first tier list ever, I will be ranking every crossover event in Power Rangers history on this tier list, ranking them all from top best to bottom worst. So, up top we have the S tier. These ones, perfect 10 out of 10s. The greatest events in Power Rangers history, and you all probably know which ones are going to be up here, but these ones are the Platinum Perfect, the Golden Rangers, the morphing masters of this saga, the ones I have no problems with and we all love. Then down here we have A tier. These ones, good, not great. Had a lot of great moments, are definitely watchable. They did both their Ranger teams justice. However, there are some nitpicks here and there, some behind the scenes drama, some things you can critique, but overall are fun. Then we have B. These ones are fine. They're basic. They're the mid. They're alright. They did their job. They were definitely not the worst episodes I've ever seen, but also nothing worth bragging about either. They're definitely a B tier. They're fine. Then we have C. These ones below average. The lame ducks. The forgettable ones. The ones that aren't all that hot, and we might be seeing a lot more in C and D mostly, because these ones just plain didn't leave any impression on me. Then we have D. These ones are duds. A lot of bad. They're plain bad. They're not all that good. They're a total mess. They could have been great. They could have been better. There was a speck of hope there, but they just didn't quite make it. Then at rock bottom, we have F tier. Total failures. 0 out of 10's Decayed Skull. Negative infinity out of 10. The worst episodes ever, and I think you all know what's gonna be down here. High Legendary Battle, among others, but yeah, you get the point. This is rock bottom awful. So yeah, gonna be ranking all 20 of the Power Ranger crossover events. At least this list has 20. If it's from Cosmic Fury, probably not gonna list it. We're counting official crossovers. Like, full on, the Rangers are meeting a character from a different series. Either another Ranger show, or we do have TMNT on here, so yeah, entire franchises if they've had them. Sadly, we have no comic books on here, so don't ask, what about the Power Rangers meet Star Trek or the Transformers? No, that's not gonna be on here. It's actual episodes. And FYI, no, we are not counting Turbo's passing of the torch, because that is not a crossover. That is literally just handing a new team the keys to the base. Passing of the torch does not count, and if we did count it, you bet it would be on F tier. Legendary Battle was pathetic, yeah. So, Wolf is absent again, and DC. Yeah, DC met the TMNT, so sadly we don't have any of the comic crossovers. It is all episodes. Sorry, but it's stuff I could actually watch and get my paws on. I have seen most of these episodes, pretty much all of them. They are available on YouTube. Some, like Finders Keepers and Grid Connection, I did have to kind of cheat and use websites to find them, but most of these are up on YouTube. I actually watched Clash of the Red Rangers last night, so yeah, I have watched all of these, so we actually can talk about them. Oh no, I forgot about Clash of the Red Rangers. Yep, that one's on here. Dimensions in Danger should be renamed to the Tommy Oliver episode. It really should be. So I went with school Comic-Con and I got a sticker of Shippo, Inuyasha, Ultraman, Chibi Drawing, and My Hero Academia logo stickers. Good for you. Thunderstorm better be high up. Got some positives to say about that. I have finally finished Dino Thunder, so that was going to be the next one, but I decided to do the crossovers one for a smaller tier list. It's unfortunate that some series don't end up getting crossovers. For example, Ninja Storm had no crossover with Wild Force, Mystic with SPD, etc. Yeah, that was kind of weird. I was gonna watch Mystic Force until people told me they never meet the SPD Rangers, and I thought, oh, well, what's the point? I wanted to see the SPD come back. But yeah, some of the Ranger shows did not even get crossovers, and you could tell the Power Rangers magic was starting to fade as time went on, and we got a few lackluster crossovers on here, so I will be going out of wild order. At least I don't want to end on a sour note, so we'll go wherever we go. But I think we should finally start this tier list, and we do have to start with the Mighty Morphin crossover. Yes, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers meet the Masked Rider in A Friend in Need, and might upset some people, this one's going straight onto D. The Mighty Morphin team from the OG era of Power Rangers meet the Masked Rider. And if you were like me watching this crossover, you're probably asking yourself, who the hell is the Masked Rider? Well, the Masked Rider was apparently a pilot show that combined with the Mighty Morphin production, and he was supposed to get his own spin-off show where he teamed up with the Power Rangers and they were supposed to meet again, but it never happened because this crossover didn't do so well. Super Mega Force itself was pathetic. Yep, it was. Yeah, no game crossovers like Street Fighter meets the Power Rangers. That was actually a pretty fun crossover. If we did count that, that would be high. Hell Teacher Nube remake, 2025 version is coming July 2nd. Okay, that's still a bit away, Akira. Wolf is working on some secret project right now, but he can't join us. I'm so mad Mystic Force didn't have an SPD crossover. SPD is my favorite. Me too, Mass Mailer. That kind of pissed me off. I was gonna watch Mystic Force and I found out, oh, they didn't actually meet the SPD Rangers. So I thought, oh, well, I'm gonna put you off now. Ninja Storm didn't get one with Wild Force because that's when production moved to New Zealand. Yeah, that is the truth, Moonwing. Apparently, they never bothered getting the Wild Force Rangers back, and it's weird because in Japan, they had Sentai footage of them meeting the Wild Force Rangers, but they decided not to use it. Favorite. So, Kamen Rider Ichiko. Ah, yes, the Masked Rider crossover. Won't lie, it kinda sucks. The Masked Rider, oh my god. Yeah, that one's actually on here. There was a crossover with the Masked Rider and the 90s Mighty Morphin Rangers, and basically amounts to a whole lot of nothing. The Masked Rider is trying to save the people on this planet being invaded by the evil warlord, Lord Dracon, who is so scary that he makes Lord Zed piss himself because he's more evil than Zed. Yeah, I call bullcrap on that. Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa are afraid of Lord Dracon, and you think there's gonna be a big meeting between these two epic villains, but spoilers, never happens. Why? Because they didn't have any Sentai footage of the characters interacting. Basically, the Rangers go to the planet Alpha was assembled on. Yeah, it's technically Alpha's home planet. They go there to check up on it because Alpha has a bad feeling, and they find out the planet's been invaded by this evil anime villain from a completely separate TV show entirely, and they meet the Masked Rider and his group of rebels, who are all a bunch of lame generic one-note characters because only the Masked Rider has any personality. It is way too long. This is a 3-part crossover, and I feel like we don't know jack about the Masked Rider. The Masked Rider is the chosen one who has like this Beetleborg armor passed on to him, and basically we're watching his origin story. They're dropping exposition on what's going on, and it is a very painfully obvious pilot to a completely separate TV series, but it's placed in the Mighty Morphin universe because they knew nobody would watch it. Yeah, that is the thing. It is a complete and total scam. It's a ratings trap. They're using Mighty Morphin's popularity to plug this new spin-off show, which didn't do so well because nobody knows who the Masked Rider is. And yeah, I was so very confused watching this. I had to look up what happened to this guy and found out, oh, he was having his own TV show and it was just being introduced through the Power Rangers. What a mismatch of absolute nothingness. Yeah, absolutely. I legit forgot Mighty Morphin and Masked Rider had a crossover. You and me both, Mailert. Also, Miraculous gets an anime and a Tokyo special with the Power Rangers parody called Stellar Force and Ladybug. Finally have her Ladybug Zord. Oh, cool. And yet Zed never ever mentions Dracon ever again in the series. Almost like that plot point was pointless. So, the only reason this isn't in F is because this has 2 subplots I actually like. One, Kimberly, the best Pink Ranger, is sick, and she has to fight solo with the flu. She fights this evil Lickitung monster, and it is pretty funny. And 2, Bulk and Skull absolutely saved this event. Bulk and Skull try to get laid and pick up chicks by pretending to be Power Rangers. And of course, leave it to Bulk and Skull being the funniest part in this crossover event. Yeah, when it's an actual Power Ranger show, it's actually pretty decent, but every time we return to the Masked Rider BS, it is a mess. It is a mess. It is very aimless, and spoilers, the Rangers never meet Lord Dracon, they never defeat him, and all they do is help the Masked Rider liberate his home planet. Alpha's home planet is conquered and invaded, and the Rangers just help them escape, and then never help him take down this evil intergalactic overlord ever again. Yeah, they keep setting up like, we'll meet again someday. No, they don't. They don't. He's not even killed by the Z-Wave. We never see the Masked Rider or his idiot characters ever again. Well, we waited for Captain America versus Kamen Rider Ichigo or the Masked Rider in Death Battle. Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen either. What a pathetic Kamen Rider adaptation. And it's pretty pathetic how Zed and Rita's monster that they sent to Earth was not only a previous monster with the different colors, but fails because he gets sick during the battle against Kimberly. Yeah, Kimberly has the flu, and I did find this actually kind of funny because Kimberly tries to solo the monster and she's horribly sick. She sneezes on the monster and Finster takes the monster back and upgrades him to like a germ warfare monster, and you think this is gonna lead into the Masked Rider and Rangers double teaming him, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't. The Rider is completely useless. They help him fight basically generic minions and return back to Earth where we act like this is just a Power Ranger show and nothing significant happened to them. Bulk and Skull saved the whole show. Yeah, this came out during the polarizing Season 3. Season 3 of Mighty Morphin had its good moments, but it also had a lot of the bad moments. Seasonal rot was clearly kicking in, and I think Lord Zed and Rita being scared of Lord Dracon definitely was a sign that they were not the badasses we used to love and hate. His real name, the Masked Rider, is Dex Stewart. Yeah, he's the prince of this planet. It ends with his grandpa sending him to Earth, and yeah, the Masked Rider goes to Earth at the end, and we never see him ever again in Power Rangers. You have to watch his stupid spin-off show to get those fulfilling answers, and I'm not going to because I didn't care for him on his own pilot. No wonder Nadira was crying while watching the Masked Rider. I need to check out Kamen Rider Black RX at some point. I don't want to be constantly upset when I see that suit. TJ Roberts played the Masked Rider. Good for him. I cannot even remember the Masked Rider's name. Prince Dex Stewart, I believe that was his name. Like, why Masked Rider Origin sounds like Tuxedo Mask's origin is completely useless. At least he's safe from Megaforce. Yeah, well, he was not good on this one, so it makes it to D because Bulk and Skull's subplot is actually pretty funny, and I do like Kimberly. It was a stupid plot, but pretty stupid funny. She's sick, she gets the monster sick, and Finster turns this into an upgrade for the monster. Now he uses germ warfare, and the Power Rangers do what they do best. They kill the monster without the Masked Rider's help, so it shows you how butt-ass useless he was. Though I do like, this has some of my favorite moments, Power Ranger lines out of context when they're fighting like Lord Dracon's forces. They say some very hilariously stuff out of context. You and your multicolored friends can't escape our master's wrath. And I'll crush you for that, little black boy. Power Ranger lines out of context are just hilarious. Great job on your Lost Galaxy ranking. Love seeing Stolen Beauty ranked in the top 3. Thanks, CK. Glad you liked that. I was afraid nobody watched that because it didn't get very high views. Does it count as a crossover? This is a spin-off or a pilot? Well, it's on the list now, so yeah. This one, it is a D. It is a dud. It's a little better than Megaforce and some other crossovers, but still, I would not call this good. It is a complete dud. It is plain bad. The Masked Rider and his cast are not interesting, and it's basically plugging a spin-off show which never connects with Power Rangers ever again. A Friend in Need is a dud. Do not watch it. It is plain bad, but don't worry, it is not the 0 out of 10s we'll come across later. Yeah, thanks. Glad people like the Lost Galaxy ranking. Imagine they tried this again with another Kamen Rider series. Wasn't Robo Knight supposed to be from another series? It's a shame Power Rangers never cross over with Miraculous or My Hero Academia. Probably because of licensing issues. That was the funniest line ever. I'll crush you for that, little black boy. Yeah, play that line out of context or put it on a t-shirt. That is funny. Hey, Light Jones. Hi, Cat. Hey, cool show. You also made it. Like I see the remake of Goosebumps have the haunted car from the 90s version. Did they? I saw Slappy driving that. I wasn't sure if it was the haunted car, though, because it didn't have the demon eyes. No, he's from Gozai Knight. Okay, he was the Gozai Knight. My mistake. I was gonna watch your Lost Galaxy video, but my phone deleted the notification, and I forgot. My phone keeps deleting YouTube notifications. Well, it's still up there. You got time. It's a video, so it's not going anywhere. So yeah, A Friend in Need, it sucks, it's a dud, don't even watch it. It wins some points because, let's face it, Bulk and Skull pretty much saved this crossover from 0 out of 10, so congratulations, a 2 out of 10 I guess is better than nothing. Don't watch it, bad crossover. Next, let's get the one you all love and hate. Yeah, let's get the one I know you all love, Legendary Battle. Let's finally clear it off, bite the bullet. Going on to F. Yeah, is there really any surprise? Megaforce's crossover event celebrating 20 years of Power Rangers. It's a letdown. It is an F. It is awful. Like everything Megaforce, it sucks. People were so hyped for this crossover. Every Power Ranger ever was going to appear in this big, epic, legendary battle. The Megaforce Rangers team up with all past gens of Power Rangers, and we only got like 10 guys, and they fight generic expendable minions. Yeah, that was so worth it. It was a colossal misstep. To this day, nobody looks fondly back on this crossover. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, it is nice seeing some of the old Rangers, but I do not think any kids are gonna recognize half these people. And two, they barely do anything. That is the problem with Legendary Battle. You got all these past Rangers, there is huge continuity errors, there's like 6 Tommies in the background, and the Turbo Rangers are there, even though they lost turbo power, and they got the Titanium Rangers mask all wrong. Basically, most of these Rangers do not talk or say anything, and they all just fight generic expendable minions. They're in a big fight against a villain army. That is the Legendary Battle. God, was the series Megaforce, especially the crossover ending, sucked? Yeah, this is pretty much the peak of Megaforce's awfulness. Like before MCU Endgame. This was supposed to be like Power Rangers Infinity War, and it wasn't. It really wasn't. Boo, boo. Don't worry, I missed Lost Galaxy too, but I made sure that cat never forgot how much I love Lost Galaxy. I mean, it's still up there. It wasn't a stream, it was an actual top 10. He was their kinda not 6th Ranger. Yeah, the Robo Knight. Oh, how can we forget? Robo Knight comes back in this. It's good to see you, old friend. It's like, didn't you disappear for like half the series? Yeah, really soulless reunion there. And I know everybody loves seeing Tommy back. He's in the green armor. Jason David Frank is leading the charge, and honestly, I'm kind of confused because there's like all of Tommy's Ranger forms in this shot. The red Turbo Ranger's there, the red Zeo Ranger, the black Dino Ranger. It's like, wait, wasn't Tommy how all these people? I want to watch it now because curiosity. Go ahead, cool show, but that's 40 minutes you're not getting back. Hey, it's the beginning of Gokaiger. That's what I'm looking at right there. Yeah. Like before MCU Endgame. Endgame had its problems, but it did have some good moments. Legendary Battle was supposed to be the Power Rangers equivalent to Infinity War and Endgame, and it did not do well. Like, it did not do well. Like, let it all out, guys. This was a disappointing, underwhelming event. Now, yeah, I know, they flash all these previous Rangers we knew and loved. Like, OMG, it's Tommy, it's Wes, it's Leo, it's Astronema. It's like, it's all member berries. It's all member berries. It's jingling the keys in front of you, showing you these nice, great characters we knew and loved from that awesome show back in the day. It's nothing. Like, it's nothing. I feel nothing. It's white noise. I love seeing the past Rangers, but most of them don't do much. They show up in this, what's supposed to be this epic reunion shot, their Avengers Endgame moment, the final battle, and it goes by real quick, and the Rangers don't really banter that much. That's just kind of disappointing. Like, they don't really talk much. Also, was anybody excited to see Dana from Lightspeed Rescue come back? I know we all like Dana because she's hot, but she didn't really do anything. I love seeing Carter Grayson back. Carter Grayson is a kick-ass Red Ranger, and was really shocked to see Leo, Damon, and Corone all came back. I'm a huge Lost Galaxy fan, so of course the Galaxy Rangers were my highlights, and seeing Wes Collins there was awesome, but again, they don't do anything. They're there because member berries. They're there because you know that guy and we're advertising basically a bunch of past shows for the kids to buy. Oh no, a bunch of minions appear to fight. The 6 Ninja Storm Rangers could have taken on the minions by themselves. Yeah, any one group of these Mega Rangers could have taken down all these minions, but no, we get like 100+ Rangers. Many of them don't take their helmets off, you know, to hide the fact that the actors didn't come back for this crap. And yeah, they all just fight expendable goons. Kinda sad Tommy Oliver last appearance before he died. Yeah, rest in peace, Jason David Frank, you will be missed. It was good to see him, and of course it makes sense that Tommy was spearheading the army, but does it really mean anything when he barely does anything? Like 6 Tommy Olivers, yeah, in that crowd shot. I have a feeling that the actors who played the characters from the old Rangers are turning over in their grave from beyond the grave. Yeah, Trini was also there, even though poor Twee Trung was long dead. Rest in peace, Twee. Huh. Some people say the Turbo Rangers could have been the Robo Rangers they made. Yeah, that could have been, but who's even releasing them? Wasn't Zordon in charge of the Robo Turbo Rangers? And Zordon died sacrificing himself, and Alpha has been in cold storage in the Operation Overdrive warehouse. So who is taking care of the Robo Turbo Rangers this whole time? Fun fact, all those masks from Dino Thunder and SPD were used in the Disney World costumes, but Nick takes them than the OG versions. Never mind, was wrong. Linkar had every right to lose his mind seeing Robo Knight return with no explanation. Yeah, that was one of his best breakdowns. Robo Knight also comes back in the Legendary Battle. If you don't know, Robo Knight was sort of the 6th Ranger to the Megaforce team. He disappeared and then randomly came back in the Legendary Battle, with no explanation where he's been, how he's come back, and he and Troy act like they're bros again and nothing happened. It's good to see you, old friend. Good to see you too. And that's the end of that compelling story arc. And Linkar's meltdown is legendary over that scene. He had an appearance in Ninja Steel with a Master Morpher, where he could transform into all his different Ranger forms. Okay, yeah, I know Tommy had that ability, but here's the thing. We see multiple Tommies in the crowd. That's what doesn't make sense. It's like Tommy's there front and center as the Green Ranger, but we also see his black Dino suit is behind him, and the red Zeo Ranger, and the red Turbo Ranger, and even the white Tiger Ranger is back there, but all these guys are Tommy, so did he like clone himself or something? Hi everyone, hey V Scorpio. We're finally letting out all the rage on Legendary Battle, which is F. Can you pull up the Legendary Ranger footage? I don't remember a black Dino Thunder Ranger there. He's like standing in the background somewhere. It's like, I don't want to get this stream copyright blocked, so yeah, we don't really play footage on here, but he's standing somewhere in the back. I believe he's next to the other Dino Thunder and Wild Force Rangers. It goes by in a blink, so you might miss it. Red Turbo could be chalked to TJ, but we literally saw him without his helmet as Blue Space Ranger, so yeah, it didn't make sense. What did I miss? We knocked out the Masked Rider crossover, and we're on Legendary Battle. We wanted to bite the bullet early and get it out of the way. What, member berries? Member berries, it's a joke about South Park. South Park had member berries, and basically it's nostalgia. It's like a code name for nostalgia bait. It's like, remember this? Remember that? Remember that? Remember when that was cool? That's what member berries are. It's a reference to South Park, how the member berries would talk about all things from the good old days, and that's kind of what Legendary Battle was. A reference to everything Power Rangers, and they're just there to remind you of the past. It's a reference, it's a mythology gag, it's a shallow look, it's that character, and that's supposed to get you hyped and excited for this crossover, but really it's just white noise. You feel nothing for it. What irony, Melody and Patricia were in the worst and perhaps best team-ups. Yeah, they were. They legit had to show the helmets on the unmasked Rangers so you knew who was who. Yeah, they did. We see at least 10 of them took off their helmets. We see 3 of the Galactic Rangers. Wes is there somehow with his Time Force squad, even though they returned to the year 3000. They got the Titanium Ranger's helmet completely wrong. He's wearing the gas mask filter outside of his cool V, and it looks really goofy looking. We see there's like 6 Tommies in the crowd. We see the Space Rangers, TJ and Cassie came back. We see, unfortunately, 2 of the Samurai Rangers. Yeah, weren't you all excited to see the Samurai Rangers come back after, what, 1 year not being Power Rangers? And let's not forget the worst part. After the Rangers leave, the Megaforce cast just leave and they get no closure. Action is over, no closure, no character ending. It's the end, deal with it. It's the end, deal with it. Fail. Yeah, it didn't really have a proper finale, but Megaforce really sucked, so it's very clear they didn't care. Legendary Battle is a disappointment. It is one of the worst crossovers in not just Power Ranger history, but I think in television history as a whole. It's a shame Tommy's son didn't get to be the Green Ranger for the next gen. Yeah, JJ. His son exists and is apparently a Ranger, but never followed up on and probably won't be out of respect for Jason David Frank. Dino Fury gives an answer why the All Rangers are here. Well, unfortunately, it didn't in this episode. Rhett Fisher deserved better. Speaking of SPD, the episode where the White Ranger made a full appearance have a date of time, and it's coming soon. Okay. Something cool in the comics, he does have a son, who is the green SPD Ranger with a dragon shield. Oh, that is pretty cool. Wait, why was Tommy green when he had the White Ranger's weapons? Because Nickelodeon did not give a crap. They have Time Force, so it could be a bunch of different people throughout, different Tommies throughout time. Yeah, there's like a million Tommy counterparts. Kind of surprised Lord Drakon or Vrak wasn't the main villain of the Legendary Battle, but hey, Megaforce doesn't care. Not even your beloved Maya wanted anything to do with this. No, she didn't. And weirdly, Kai didn't show up either. It's funny because Archie Cow was in the Forever Red crossover, but not in this. Yeah, Kai and Maya are not in the lineup. We see them in their galactic uniforms, but it's clear they did not get Serena Vincent or Archie Cow back. Wait, the Titanium Ranger was there? I legitimately forgot. Yes, Ryan, the Titanium Ranger is in there. They completely screwed up his mask. It is very clear they did not have the Titanium Ranger outfit intact, and they did not do a good job giving him a new face mask. At least the Masked Rider 3-parter was low-key and didn't have real expectations. It's worse when you have so much build-up, plus it came before Ninja Quest. Yeah, Lord Draken is a forgettable villain, like replace Robo-Tommy. SPD episode Messenger takes place in 7/11/2025. Alright, so you all get it. Legendary Battle, awful. It is F tier. Will it be outdone in terms of its awfulness? Probably not, because there was a ton of hype surrounding this one, but it will not be alone in F tier as we scroll through the rest of these. But yeah, let's move on. It sucked because Megaforce was a complete joke. Alright, so what do I want to bump off next? I suppose we should get a positive one out of the way next. Let's do Always a Chance. The two Black Rangers, Adam is back to help Carlos get his groove back. Yep. First S tier one, it is awesome. I still love this episode. This is easily one of my brother Wolf's absolute favorite in space episodes. Next to the Psycho Rangers arc, of course, but Always a Chance, it is great. It is a good episode. It not only redeemed Carlos as a ranger, but it brought back the OG Black Ranger, played by Johnny Young Bosch, Adam. Yep, Adam returns to help Carlos basically get his confidence back, help him with his self-esteem, and help Carlos earn his ranger mantle. And Johnny Young Bosch absolutely knocks it out of the park. Adam is given so much personality, and it is a huge apology for how Turbo treated both these characters, because they are fully redeemed in it. This one is a much smaller scale crossover, but one that works greatly. I think that actually helped make this crossover stand out more. It's two different generations of Black Rangers coming together and helping the other get their groove back. Hey, Adam and Carlos. Yep, they're on here. Oh my god, why is the gas mask in front of the V? They did not do a good job rebuilding it. Hi, just some random guy who comments. Glad you made it. Also, Johnny Young Bosch, the actor of Artemis the Cat and Sailor Moon. He's also currently Dante in the Netflix Devil May Cry, but clearly not a good role to talk about. He was much better on Bleach. Sorry, I'm just drinking my 1,000 waters here to stay hydrated, but Always a Chance, it is great. I really like this episode. Wolf and I talked greatly about this in detail on our In Space tier list, but I really like it. Carlos actually feels like a much more well-rounded hero in this show, and this was the episode which fully redeemed him. Carlos basically he accidentally hurts Cassie while fighting a monster, blames himself and thinks he's not good enough to be a Power Ranger anymore, and contemplates giving up the Black Morpher. However, Adam from Mighty Morphin steps in, with Johnny Young Bosch back in full swing, to actually mentor Carlos and help him rebuild his lost confidence. Adam still has the ability to morph into the OG Black Ranger. Somehow his coin wasn't completely destroyed. They do mention it's not stable anymore, but yeah, we do see Adam come back in black. They kick butt together. Adam trains Carlos to be a better hero, and it is a solid passing of the torch episode. 1,000,000 times better than that mess back in Turbo, and I still like it. My brother Wolf really loved this episode too. Didn't Johnny voice a member of the Black Bull from Black Clover? I believe he did. Also, Jonathan Joestar and JoJo Phantom Blood. Yeah, Johnny Young Bosch is really awesome, and he's still kick-ass as a Power Ranger for sure. They actually would get Johnny Young Bosch on, I believe, 2 more crossover events on here. I know he was in Once and Always. He and, they did bring Zach back in that movie, so I'm not sure if he's still the Black Ranger. Maybe Billy fixed the power coins. Maybe he did, yeah. Adams manages to reuse his power coin and turns back into the classic Mighty Morphin Black Ranger, and they kick Quantron butt together, and the Black Rangers basically get each other's self-confidence back. They help Carlos get his groove back. Adam is now a full-blown veteran ranger in this, and Always a Chance, it is an awesome episode. I really love it. It is great seeing these two characters working side by side. They kick butt, they're fun, they fight Quantrons, they fight the Monster of the Week. Carlos is fully redeemed after the mess that was Turbo, and Adam gets one last chance to be a badass until he comes back in Once a Ranger, which we'll get to, but this is easily S tier. It is a S tier masterpiece, one of the better crossovers, and proof that you do not need a huge budget to have an epic Power Rangers event. But yeah, I guess we should move on to another one. Let's knock off Finders Keepers. This one, going on to C. This one is forgettable. It's a real nothing crossover event. This one The Beast Morphers meet the Super Dino Charge Rangers, and honestly, I kind of forget I even watched this one because nothing really happens. Yeah, Finders Keepers, it is kind of just meh. It's there. It happened. You see these two teams meet. They don't really have all that much fun banter. It's a basic Evox scheme. I believe this is one where Evox revives the Dino Charge villains and they're like his slaves working for him. And it gives finality to the Super Dino Charge team, and it's nothing. It's really nothing. It is a C-tier fodder. This is when the crossovers really lost steam and they're just going through the motions, where we have this crossover because Power Rangers always does a crossover event, and nobody feels like they're having fun on this. It's just another generic day being a ranger. I did not care for it. It's gone on to C tier. Speaking of which, I'm also gonna get another bad one I didn't like out of the way. Grid Connection. Yeah, I know I'm gonna probably upset a few people. This one also going on to F, but it is above Legendary Battle. This is the one that has all the dinosaur Power Rangers team up. The Beast Morphers, or no, not Beast Morphers, the Dino Charge Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Rangers, and Dino Thunder. Except for one tiny problem. Only one of the past actors actually showed up. Grid Connection sucked, fully agree, like Kira is back. Well, here's the problem with Grid Connection. They brought every era of dinosaur Power Rangers. Yes, the Mighty Morphin team and the Dino Thunder team and the Dino Charge team all meet each other, and Austin St. John was the only one who came back. They brought back Jason, and don't get me wrong, I love Jason, but none of the other actors came back, and it absolutely shows. It sunk this episode. None of the past Rangers, except for Jason, came back. Like, all these Power Rangers, and not one of them even sounds like the old actor. Jason came back. Looks so cool. Like, I remember Dino Thunder, Dino Charge, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers crossover. Yeah, all the dinosaur generations are in this one, and Jason's the only one who came back. They brought back Austin, and don't get me wrong, it's cool seeing him again, but one, it does not make sense because apparently his power coin is inside a meteor now, even though he used the thing in Forever Red. Great continuity, right? Yeah, Jason's the only morpher who unmasks in this entire episode. None of the Dino Thunder cast came back. None of them. And you know why? Because Connor's actor and Kira's actress are completely done with Power Rangers. They do not look fondly back on it. And when they were asked to rejoin for this crossover, they said, hell no. So the Dino Thunder Rangers are completely masked for the entirety of this episode, and most of the Mighty Morphin cast did not come back. Like, I don't even think Jason David Frank came back for this one. I hope Super Sentai stopped doing dinosaur seasons for a long while. Yeah, me too. I'm getting real tired of the dinosaur era of Rangers. Like, Trent isn't there, what happened? They didn't get him back for this. They got him back for Dimensions in Danger, but not Grid Connection. Yeah, it makes sense of that one. Like, the good thing is the Megazord final attack is peak. Yeah, that does put it above Legendary Battle, that's for sure. Should have just stuck with the Unmasked Rangers. They should have, but didn't. The explanation for the power coins are always wonderful. Cough. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Dino Charge only had 4 out of the 6 Rangers return. Pink and Green did not return. Yeah, that's really weird and very jarring. Grid Connection, it sucks. Most of the cast did not come back, which is why it sucks. And all these gens of Power Rangers, and they're in like a 1 episode. It's not a 2-parter. This one is a full-blown one-shot, one-and-done standalone episode, and it really shows how weak and lame this event was. We see Jason. I know everybody loves Jason because he's a classic Ranger, and I do like seeing him back in the saddle, but when you advertise that you have every Dino Ranger and you can only get one guy to show up for the crossover, it is not a good look and not all that fun, especially because nobody from Dino Thunder came back. It is F. Unpopular opinion, the Psycho Rangers were the best Rangers because they were villains that deserved to win. Like Dinosaurs Rangers themed is peak. Usually it's fun, but oftentimes they kind of overdo the dino powers. Well, in the Super Sentai counterpart, the Dino Thunder, the White Ranger was evil but turned good, and spoilers, he died. Yeah, that explains why we never see him often. Wait, Zeo had a crossover at the Alien Rangers? I don't remember that. Okay, we'll do that one next, but Grid Connection, it sucks. Yeah, you get to see Jason, but I recommend just watching clips of him on YouTube because it is not worth it. Finders Keepers, it is C because it's forgettable. Grid Connection, complete fail. This one is a 0 out of 10. It is just as bad as Legendary Battle, except for having Jason actually front stage and the Megazord fight, but that's really it, F tier. Alright, you want to do the Rangers of Two Worlds, the Zeo Rangers meet the Alien Rangers, and I also did not like this one. It's going on to F. Yes, the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers are back, and they team up with the Zeo Rangers to help cure Billy's old age. Sorry, my phone went off. And it sucks. It sucks. It really sucked. I hated this episode. It might be the worst two-parter of Zeo. And yes, I do think it might be worse than the stupid Christmas special. What made it awkward was that they were hanging out in the woods unmasked and the Pink and Green Rangers are still masked. Yeah, obviously showing that they didn't get the actors to come back. Like Alien Rangers, like why, since why is Billy old? What an underwhelming return. Who really cares about the Alien Rangers? Not me. I am so sick to death about talking about the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers. They are nothing characters. They are not that interesting a team, and they just keep bringing them back all throughout the Zordon era. Why? To show you that there's other Rangers out there across space. That is the only reason why they exist. They were temp Rangers, and their big crossover event with the Zeo Rangers is nothing. This is pretty much a goodbye to Billy. Billy comes back and they reference the stupid Alien Rangers event where they all turn into kids, and apparently through some weird mutation BS, Billy is now rapidly aging into R.L. Stine, and they need to find a cure for him before he dies. The Alien Rangers are brought in because they believe they can cure him with their advanced alien tech and science, and Billy, David Yost clearly walked off of the set in protest by this point because of BS homophobia. So they got this weird old guy who looks like R.L. Stine to play him, and basically it's trying to get rid of Billy. They're just trying to get rid of Billy's character because David Yost is gone forever, not coming back, and the Alien Rangers are brought on, and a whole bunch of mishmash of different plot lines happens. Why do I remember the elderly Billy stuff? They just made them aliens, gave them the Kaiku Ranger suits, and did nothing. Yeah, exactly. I'm back, had to charge my phone. Hey, Jon Snow, glad you made it. We're talking about the Zeo crossover. We finally got one up on the S tier. Always a chance, that one's classic. Finders Keepers, Forgettable C, A Friend in Need, the Masked Rider crossover, dud. Then the F tier, Grid Connection sucked, Legendary Battle really sucked, and Rangers of Two Worlds was a complete mess. Where's the Christmas special? You really think it's that bad? Because I always thought that was hard to beat. The Christmas special, I'm not a fan of. Old Tommy. Jason David Frank does not do a good job being an old man. And the little girl singing, I just found cringe. But the Rangers of Two Worlds, this might be one of the worst Zeo episodes I've ever seen in my 9 lives. It is a mess. For starters, There's way too many subplots in this. We have Billy who's dying of rapid aging, the alien rangers are back, King Mondo finally comes back, and he kicks his stupid son Prince Gasket to the curb. Gasket tried to seize the Machine Empire throne, and once his daddy came back in the picture, he ran away like a little wuss with his hot girlfriend Archerina. They ran away to be villains in a different subplot. King Mondo's back, Rita and Zed finally try to conquer the Earth again, and Cat's purse turns into a monster. Yeah, it is a very weird episode. There's so much stuff happening, and honestly, the Alien Rangers feel like they're barely in it. The Alien Rangers are not interesting, and they don't do anything with them here. Billy's girlfriend, the alien girl, comes back, and kind of creepy that we have a scene where old man Billy tries to flirt with her. It's like, I'm much older, and he's like trying to flirt with his girlfriend, and apparently they're gonna get married at the end of this. It is very kind of cringe-inducingly bad, and not to mention the monsters of the week really suck. King Mondo finally makes his move, he returns, and they're not making a big deal out of this, which is very strange. It's very much back to the status quo. They fight King Mondo's stupid cog monster, they hack into a Megazord, then Cat's purse is like this boogeyman looking monster. This pink ugly purse she made in arts and crafts class comes alive and turns into a creature, and it also hijacks a Zeozord, and the monsters are duking it out across Angel Grove. It's very weird, perplexing, and not all that interesting. Like Ninja Sentai, Kaiju Rangers is better. Yeah, they are. I heard it's because the actor who played Billy, David Yost, quit. Yeah, because he got tired of people making fun of him as a gay guy. Yeah, David Yost walked off of set by this point, and very poorly the show tried to write him out of it. They tried to get rid of the Billy character. Well, they assumed David Yost would come back, but he clearly wasn't coming back, so Billy needed to exit the show, and it's all just a final goodbye to Billy. They cure him of his old age and his rapid aging, and he decides to move on Aquitar to be with his girlfriend, and that's it. That is the end of Billy until he came back years later on Cosmic Fury, and we never saw Billy ever again because David Yost gave them the finger. The 90s was sadly a different time. Not that different from today. We still have incompetent productions now. Like Ninja Sentai Kaku Rangers have a good version, like why not have the Ninja Rangers is cool. Well, they did not know how to integrate the Sentai footage. This is when Power Rangers wanted to recycle the cast from the old series for the new shows, and they were starting to feel the consequences of that decision. What a sad list so far. We need a good one next. We will. Operation Overdrive's crossover sucks. Also, have you seen the new Goosebumps game that the show, the main character looks like Sabrina from Miraculous? I know what you're talking about. I haven't played it yet, though. Goosebumps, Terror, and Little Creek. Okay. So, Rangers of Two Worlds. This one also sucks. This might be the worst Zeo episode I've ever seen. The Alien Rangers are not interesting, and it's a very messy plot where all it is just saying goodbye to Billy. It's Billy's farewell episode, crammed in with a crossover, and the Alien Rangers barely do anything. It is F. I did not like it. I think it's actually worse than Grid Connection because of how messy it is. Easily a bad crossover, but yeah. Got 3 bad ones. We need another good one up here. Alright, so if that one's out of the way, let's do a positive one. Let's do Thunderstorm. The Ninja Storm Rangers meet the Dino Thunder Rangers. And yeah, this one also going up onto S tier. I actually did like this one. I finally finished Dino Thunder, so that'll be a tier list coming soon, and The crossover episode did not disappoint me too badly. Lothor is back. He managed to crawl out of hell, and he forms a villain alliance with Mesogog to exterminate those pesky Power Rangers for good. And we finally have the Ninja Storm Rangers meeting the Dino Thunder Rangers. However, the Ninja Storm Rangers are brainwashed by Lothor into being evil. Yep, we got evil brainwashed Power Rangers, and they're fighting the current gen, the Dino Team. Yep. Goosebumps Terror in Little Creek is launching in August 29th. Okay, I haven't seen posters of that. I haven't actually played it, so this one I actually did like a fair bit, mostly because the Ninja Storm Rangers finally complete their character development. The main trio are no longer the loser newbies who got their butts whooped from the pilots. Now they are full-fledged ninja masters. The ninja team, they're all wiser, older, much more experienced veteran rangers. We see Shane, Dustin, and Tori are now legit badass teachers, teaching at the Ninja Academy. Lothor manages to escape out of hell. He crawls his way out, kind of Vipra style. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but hey, he's back. Lothor teams up with Mesogog and two new guys who are basically mindless jobbers who get their butts kicked. Yeah, he has these two generic monsters help him return back to form. Lothor abducts the students and dethrones the sensei once again, but this time he takes the Power Rangers under his wing to be his primary warriors because of how badass they are. Lothor brainwashes the Ninja Storm Rangers into being his evil generals, and he recruits his stupid nieces back into the fold, and now they're going to conquer the city, but now they must face a new breed of Rangers, the Dino Thunder Rangers. The Dino Thunder Rangers meet the Ninja Academy trainees for the first time, and they team up in a big epic crossover where it's Ranger versus Ranger, and this time the heroes actually have a reason to fight because the Ninja Storm Rangers are brainwashed, and the Dino Thunder Rangers have to stop them. While this is happening, we see their other Rangers, the Navy Thunder Rangers, Hunter, Blake, and the Green Samurai Ranger Cam, have to get their powers back because they lost them at the end of the series. They go to hell and they fight the evil samurai general. Well, I forgot what his name was. They fight the evil black samurai guy, and they regain their powers, realizing that they have to save their friends because the Dino Thunder Rangers do not stand a chance against them because they're now that OP. Yeah, this crossover, it is pretty awesome, not gonna lie. I loved seeing it. I love seeing the respect they have for the Ninja Storm Rangers. The Ninja Storm characters are now fully fleshed out and evolved as characters in this crossover. And Mesogog treating Lothor as a joke is very satisfying. Which is a mix of the Scooby-Doo clone with the stupid dog. Wasn't King Mondo's two sons the same in the Super Sentai? Yeah, they were. Like, is Lothor a demon? No, Lothor is an alien. He's an alien from the outer dimension, and he practiced ninjutsu. Ninja Storm took a lot of inspiration from the Ninja Turtles. Wasn't there a meta joke where one of Lothor's nieces and the reporter girl Cassidy mentioned that the other looked cute? Yeah, that happens at the end. Cassidy and one of the nieces, like, cross paths, and the joke is they're played by the same actress. It's like a cute meta joke. But that girl is cute, but I'm so much prettier. And yeah, it's the same girl who played both. I guess they really liked having her around because she's the comic relief in like 2 of the Disney era shows. I thought Lothor was a human who was banished for his crimes years ago. That's fun, yeah. Yeah, Lothor, I believe he's an alien. He was here in the Sensei's Ninja Academy. He and the Sensei used to be students together, but Lothor was the pupil who turned evil. Then he was banished to space, but he also has nieces, so I guess he breeded with aliens while out there. It's kind of a weird decision, but hey, it's Power Rangers. Lothor comes back, teams up with Mesogog. The Ninja Storm Rangers fight, and I do like that it's actually The ninja team that frees them, Hunter, Blake, and Cam return, and they pretend they're evil, and they give them upgrades for their Ranger Morphers, but it breaks the brainwashing spell and frees them, and Lothor now has no power over them, where we finally get the epic team up in part 2, where they kill Lothor's forces. They defeat the evil Tyrannodrones and the ninja generals. They defeat Lothor's forces, and realizing that Lothor is now butt-ass useless, we actually get a villain fight, which is why it's going on to S tier. Lothor versus Mesogog is an awesome scene, and it is very satisfying seeing Mesogog beat up Lothor and putting him in his place. Yep, Mara and Cassidy were the same actress. Katrina Devine, or Divine? Whatever her name is. Katrina, yeah, she plays Mara and Cassidy. Cam is the nephew of Lothor. Yeah, I believe Lothor and the Sensei are played by the same guy, too. Just realized that Lothor died when the lab exploded. Yeah, Lothor is beaten by Mesogog and turned into an action figure that he keeps imprisoned. Mesogog beats up Lothor and traps him in a tube, turning him into an action figure to go among his mutation collection. And at the series finale, they destroy Mesogog's lab, meaning Lothor probably burned to death in there when it went down. Yeah, that is how Lothor dies, people, and I do think it's kind of a weak note that the Ninja Storm Rangers do not know that Lothor has been killed all over again and beaten by Mesogog at least. Yeah, that is kind of the one glaring issue with this. The Ninja Storm Rangers act like everything's good again, and that's the end. They somehow know Lothor has been depowered. At the end, Mara and her cousin actually save the day. They pretend to turn evil, but are actually good. They save the master, the sensei's life, and they free all the students from the magic genie bottle, and everything's good again. Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder are friends again, and I guess they mind read that Lothor was taken out by Mesogog, even though they have no way of knowing this, and Lothor probably died when Mesogog's castle was completely destroyed in the finale. Yeah, very lame death. Boss Tozant is Lothor's Japanese counterpart in Ninpu Sentai Hurricaneger. I wonder why Divatox didn't turn into an action figure by Lord Zed. Because Astronema was the main villain by then. Okay, so Thunderstorm is going low onto S tier, mostly because I think the ending is a bit messy. The Ninja Storm Rangers, as far as they know, Lothor should still be out there, but no, they treat him like he's nothing again, and they somehow know Mesogog knocked him off of his power throne, so yeah. Lothor dies anticlimactically, being killed in Mesogog's lab in the Dino Thunder finale, so that's the end of that guy. But Thunderstorm is a crossover. It's pretty fun. I do like it. I love seeing the Ninja Storm Rangers finally fully evolved and fleshed out as characters. The good guys versus good guys is actually very interesting in this crossover, because the Ninja Storm Rangers are not themselves, so it makes more sense, and the Dino Thunder Rangers actually do show respect towards the ninja team. This is not something that would be carried on in future crossovers, believe me when we get there, but yeah, this one I think is still a pretty fun event. It's definitely worth the watch, just like Dino Thunder is, so it's going on to S tier, but I think Always a Chance is still far superior. Sorry, just catch up on comments. Alright, so let's also bump off the Poisey Show. The Super Ninja Steel team meets the Dino Charge team. Yeah, this one's gone to C. I did not care for this one. Once again, like Finders Keepers, it barely feels like a crossover event. It's not very eventful and not all that special. It's just a very mediocre meh crossover event. I believe this one is the Christmas special, and if you know Power Rangers and Christmas specials, these tend to epic fail. It's bland, it's forgettable. I did not care about either of these Ranger teams. Not helped by that I haven't really watched these two shows that in depth, so I did not really care for it. It's gone on to C tier. It makes sense because the Blues are actually brothers. The coolest thing is how it has the two blue brothers. That's right. I think are the actors actually brothers, or are the Rangers in this universe? I don't think Coda is his brother in real life. It would be funny if they were like distant ancestors, but yeah, basically two brothers who auditioned for Power Rangers got to be the Blue Ranger on two different shows, and that is the only reason why this counts as a crossover event, and didn't really feel anything for it. Okay, it is the actors, thank you. I like that Coda and Preston being brothers in real life. Okay, thank you. The actors are brothers. Okay. Is that really it? Is that the only reason why this crossover was made? Because the actors were related in real life? I did not know that going into it, so I didn't really feel anything for this one. It's a C one. I guess I will put it above Finders Keepers, but that's it. Really just a meta joke, and the crossover event is nothing all that special. I did not care for it. It's just another mediocre episode in the Ninja Steel run. They were also the red and green Hyperforce Rangers, which is cool. Okay, this one I'm gonna put on a C. Did not really feel anything for it. Alright, getting to a lot of ones I do recognize. Sorry, I wanted to get a lot of the bad ones out of the way first. Speaking of bad, let's also knock this one off. Dimensions in Danger! Oh, this one also going on to D. I did not like this one. This is I believe the 25th anniversary special to Power Rangers, where this episode is a complete ripoff of Rick and Morty. Somebody is going across the Power Ranger multiverse and abducting different Rangers from different eras to make evil clones of them. Yes, somebody's abducting a bunch of Ranger guest stars to make evil cyborg Power Ranger clones in their army to invade the multiverse. And we get a very bizarre choice of Ranger cameos. So, Tommy Oliver comes back. Wes Collins, the Red Time Force Ranger, is back. Gemma is back, which surprised me. Jem is also in here, but he's one of them abducted. Coda comes back, which makes sense because his Ranger series was like the last one before this one. And Trent actually comes back. I had to pause to see if it was actually him, but yeah, Trent, the White Dino Ranger, is back. TJ is back. Kat, as the Pink Turbo Ranger, unfortunately, is back. And they brought back Gia from Samurai, I believe. Really weird choice seeing her. And Rocky actually came back in this one too. I was shocked to see Rocky actually did return. I had to rewind to see if they actually said him. I thought it was Jason like everyone else, but no, Tommy says Rocky. They brought back a whole bunch of random ass Power Rangers for this event, and honestly, I think it's really overrated. It is a mess. It is very rushed, and honestly, not that very satisfying. Are those all these are Disney Power Ranger crossovers, the C to F? Yeah, the Saban era is still better. We haven't gotten to SPD yet, but not too much positive to say there. Yeah, they didn't get Chad Lee or Dominic the White Rhino Ranger. That was very weird. Like the downfall is Lord Draken isn't the villain. Yeah, Wes and RPM Gemma are back in this one. Like I love Yuki Ono Monster for the Christmas special. Actually, all the Dino Charge Rangers were asked to return for the Poise show, but they could only afford one. The Red Dino Charge Ranger suggested that they invite Coda back to be with his brother. Okay, that is pretty sweet. This was a fun stream, but I gotta go. Sorry. Bye, Jon Snow. Yep, shame you couldn't stick around. We're getting to some good ones soon, but I did not care for Dimensions in Danger. I watched this without watching any of the Ninja Steel stuff, and honestly, as a big fat nothing burger, it was really disappointing. A lot of the cameos are blink and you'll miss it. I almost didn't notice that Trent was one of the returning Rangers in the lineup. Yeah, we do see Trent, the White Dino Thunder Rangers there, and Jem is apparently in the crowd, but he doesn't get a single line of dialogue. They The only characters who matter in this are Tommy Oliver, Wes Collins, and Coda. These are the only characters who really get any meaningful importance or vital lines. Wes is now like the Rick Sanchez of the Power Ranger universe. They all have these portal guns where you can traverse the Ranger multiverse, and all I can think is, hey Wes, why don't you use your portal gun to portal in multiple Power Rangers to help you defeat this evil army of evil Rangers? But nope, he doesn't do that. So, yeah, I'm gonna say it suffers the problem a lot of multiverse stuff has been suffering. They do not take advantage of their multiverse writing or do a very good job integrating it. For one, they don't tell you who half these Rangers are, so if you're a kid watching this, you're probably gonna think to yourself, who are these people and why should I care about any of them? Because you don't really get attached to any of them. Like, I know Coda coming back makes sense because Dino Charge was on during this era, so he's the one kids are gonna recognize the most, but Gemma barely does anything. Kat shows up. I honestly didn't realize it was her until Tommy Oliver started mentioning his wife. They brought back TJ, and I feel so sorry for Sulin Ward. He keeps showing back up for these crossover events, and they do not use him very well. TJ's back as the Blue Space Ranger, because nobody wants to remember him as the Turbo Ranger. Wes is back, and I was actually excited to see Wes again, but spoilers, all he does is exposition. That is his only job. He gives exposition. He acts like he's like the Rick Sanchez of the Power Rangers universe. He talks about all these great things. He has the Portal universe. He's running a Power Rangers Citadel. He is basically the one in charge until Tommy Oliver comes back, and yeah, it might as well be the Tommy Oliver episode because Tommy is the only important character in this alongside Wes and Coda, because Tommy is actually the hero who saves the day. Tommy is, I believe, captured and replaced by an evil clone. His clone nearly succeeds at capturing multiple Rangers, and the Ninja Steel Rangers and these Dimension Traveler Rangers manage to rescue them, where we get a 15 Ranger team lineup against an evil Ranger army, and it is a very unsatisfying fight because I could not tell who was who. And it was the Gold Samurai Ranger, Antonio. Yeah, he was back here too. Can we knock out the one Amy wanted nothing to do with? Oh, you mean the Trakina's Revenge? Okay. Hello, James here. Are there any A's yet? No, there are 2 S's though. Thunderstorm and Always a Chance are S tier. We are knocking out a lot of the bad ones first. Dimensions in Danger. Basically, the villain is trying to break the multiverse by shooting at the sky with an arrow, and all 15 Rangers basically take out his evil armada like nothing, which makes the legendary battle feel even more anticlimactic, and they punk kill this guy, and everyone just portals back home acting like nothing happened. Like, the only character who matters in this are, again, Wes, Coda, and Tommy. We do see Tommy and Kat holding hands, so yes, it is canon that Tommy and Kat became an official Ranger couple, and they have their son JJ, who will become a Power Ranger in an SPD comic. Yeah, it's very unsatisfying. I think this one is overrated. It is not that good. It's kind of rushed, and it is really sloppy storytelling, and I don't think they take advantage of all these cameos. I honestly didn't recognize a few. Like, I didn't notice Trent and Jem were in the crowd, and TJ got like 3 lines in this, and all I could think is, you got all these cool celebrities and did barely anything with them. It is not that great a crossover and really should have been a 2-parter. Like, I hope we get the Yuki Ono monster actress who played Yukime in Wolf favorite character. Back, what did I miss? Hey, Shadow Link, we're wrapping up Dimensions in Danger, which I put onto D because I think it is a disappointment. Dimensions in Danger should have been 2 to 3 parts, not a 1-parter. Fully agree. Oh yeah, Dimensions in Danger. It's pretty meh. I really didn't like it because only 3 of the guest characters really mattered in this. I did not notice Trent and Jem were in the crowd until they, like, briefly flashed them in a blink and you'll miss it moment. And Tommy Oliver is really the only one who matters in this one, and he basically gives the current team his blessing, telling them they are worthy of the legacy of Power Rangers, and everyone just portals back home, not traumatized from any of this. It is a dud. It is weak. I did not care for it. They really should have did a multi-part event for this crossover, but they chose a one and done, and that's why it's lackluster. Sorry, just reading some comments. She have no friends before Chloe bullied her. Yeah, that was also bullcrap. Alright, so yeah, Dimensions in Danger belongs in a D. I know, got a lot of bad ones, so we'll do a positive one next, but right now I have to use the restroom, so you guys cast your vote on which one you want to see next. I'll be right back, gonna take a quick bathroom break. Be right back, Rangers. Alright, I'm back, ready to go Catlactic. What'd you guys vote for? Forever Red or To the 10th Power for last? Yeah, end on high notes. RPM crossover, you mentioned that Luthor was an alien, but wasn't his twin brother a human? Yeah, Power Ranger logic, though. Alright, let's do Clash of the Red Rangers. I actually saw this one just last night. It is very recent and fresh in memory. So, Samurai meets Power Rangers RPM, get in gear. And they could only afford one, the Red Ranger, Scott. They did get Scott's actor back, but he is dubbing his lines as the Red RPM Ranger, and none of the other RPM crew, even Dr. K, ever show up. So, this one has some weak moments, but surprisingly, I can at least say it is a lot more competent than the other ones. Clash of the Red Rangers actually might go on to B. Yeah, I know, this might surprise a lot of you, but I did not end up hating this one, mostly because it's actually focused, and they do treat it like a special event. Jaden, the Red Ranger, gets into a clash with RPM Red Scott. Yep, Scott is back, and no, we never see him outside of his Red Ranger armor to hide the fact that we couldn't actually get the actor to show up. And they did actually get him to dub his lines. This one I actually thought was alright for the most part. So, an evil machine general, I believe Professor Cog, teleports to an alternate dimension. They do confirm RPM is from an alternate universe where the machines exterminated 99% of humanity. Professor Cog is trying to forge a villain alliance with the samurai villain Master Xander and take some of his magical river water, and to do so, they make a deal to exterminate the Samurai Rangers, but Scott from RPM followed him, where he teams up reluctantly with the Samurai Rangers, and we have a clash of two Red Rangers. Like not the Scottish Blue Ranger? Wasn't there a reason why he couldn't morph? Yeah, I believe they, like, breathed a different oxygen or something. Yeah, the city of Corinth had like a synthetic atmosphere that he was used to, and he couldn't breathe in the samurai universe, so he's like always wearing his RPM armor, but it's very painfully obvious they couldn't get Scott's actor to actually show up on set. King Cog. That was his name? I thought it was like Professor Cog. He couldn't morph due to the air, yet Gemma had no problem. Yeah, plot hole. I find it bizarre that both Mia and Emily have the hots for Scott, despite him being just in Ranger form. Like, what the heck was all that about? Yeah, Mia and Emily find him so hot, even though he's a Ranger 24/7. Really makes you think Nostalgia Critic was right that Justin could get away with dating chicks while in his turbo form. But yeah, they brought back Scott, and spoilers, none of the RPM cast come back. We never see the RPM Rangers. We never see Venjix or his machine empire outside of Professor Cog. It is just this evil machine general and some of his minions, and Scott the Red RPM Ranger. Now I will say this one actually isn't too bad. The crossover is very interesting. Seeing the Red Rangers fight and get into petty arguments over their leadership is definitely interesting. Scott does feel in character, besides the fact that he never takes off his morphing powers, but yeah, it's actually fairly competent, properly paced. I did watch the extended cut, so a lot more violence and character moments, and I did actually appreciate a few moments here and there. But considering it's on B, it does have problems. One, yeah, we do never see Scott unmorph, but this was kind of the bigger problem for me. We never see the other RPM Rangers. At one point, Jaden's entire team is beamed out by the monster, and they were apparently sent to Corinth, and they met the RPM Rangers off screen. Yeah, we never see them meet them. They say, "Hey Scott, your team is so cool." They say hi, and that's it. Yeah, we never see Summer, Flynn, Dylan, Ziggy, Dr. K, none of them. We never see none of the RPM team meet Jaden's samurai team. It is just Scott exploring this strange world. He's the fish out of water. He's the cool guy. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He and Jaden are at odds over their leadership. I will say this is the first time I actually gave a crap about Jaden, because he actually cares for his team and is very humble, despite being the chosen one cliche. He and Scott are poisoned by Professor Cog into fighting each other. They're paranoid, they're deluded, and they believe the other Red Ranger is working against them. And they're sort of tricked into fighting each other, leading to a classic Thunderstorm type of crossover, where the two good guys are gonna fight and duke it out. Yeah, that was a waste. Wait, why? Can you talk a little bit of the S rank? What did I miss? Oh, Thunderstorm I thought was a pretty fun one, because the Ninja Storm Rangers are fully fleshed out as characters, and the Dino Thunder Rangers actually show respect for them, leading to a very good and actually realistic good guy fight. The Brainwashed Rangers are fighting because they've been tricked into being evil, whereas the Dino Thunder Rangers are trying to avoid killing them because they're heroes but don't know it yet. And Always a Chance, I thought it was good seeing Johnny Young Bosch back in black, and Carlos fully redeemed in the episode, so Always a Chance is still S tier for me. But he does have a battle armor with a samurai design. Yeah, that was weird. Why was everyone so into Scott? Yeah, Scott is like such a chick magnet. I mean, it made sense for Summer to crush on him, because Summer actually had chemistry with Scott, but here he's like in his full armor form, and I guess it's to, you know, give Scott a win after he lost his love interest to Dylan. Yeah, if you don't know, in RPM, there was a love triangle between Scott, Dylan, and Summer ended up choosing Dylan. And I guess the writers felt bad because they didn't want Scott to be alone, so now he's like a total chick magnet. The samurai girls are totally into him, even when he's fully covered in armor head to toe. Wait, why? Yeah, that was kind of a waste. Like, I hope Wolf do Hell Teacher Anube tier list. We'll see. Wolf has to finish his top secret project if he ever does finish it. Okay, so the two Red Rangers, they're brainwashed into fighting each other, and this also kind of pissed me off. It is a kind of cop-out. The Red Rangers fake killing each other and actually gave them armor to make it look like they hurt themselves, but it was a trap to lure Professor Cog out and double team him. It turns out their master actually saw that they were out of character and helped them. Yeah, the true hero of this is Master G. Or Jai, whatever. The master, the sensei of samurai, is the true hero in this, and boy, do some of these lines age horribly. Your master may be old, but he's got some sick moves. That line has aged really well, Power Ranger writers. Yeah, the true hero was the master who saw past their deception and cured their poison off screen and gave them a secret plan to outsmart the team up between General Guts and the Professor Cog, and they double team their villains, kill them for good, and Master Xander is completely pissed and butthurt and vows never to work with those junkyard reject machines ever again. And yeah, they save the day. Scott drives around in his car shooting people with the Gold Ranger. The Samurai Rangers finally kill General Guts. They win and they have respect for each other. Jaden and Scott become total bros, and Scott returns back to his dimension on a dimension-traveling subway. Yeah, to say the budget has really dropped in these crossovers is a massive understatement. Scott, takes a subway train back to his dimension, and that is the end of Clash of the Red Rangers. It is a very flawed crossover, but I can at least say it's a lot more competent than these other ones. It's a lot more focused, a lot more tighter paced, and the two Red Rangers actually express a lot more personality. There is some stuff to complain and nitpick about because it is not perfect at all, but I will say I liked it a lot more than the Poisey Show and Finders Keepers, and especially Dimensions in Danger, because it felt like an actual crossover. So, surprisingly, I'm putting it onto B because there are so many worse ones that outrank it. Agreed. Badass Ninja Storm Master Teachers being badass. Yeah, I really love that. The Ninja Storm crew came a long way. How about a villains tier list? Would Trakina or Rancic be higher? That is pretty hard. I like both of them. It could have been a time or dimensional portal, but no, it's a random subway. Better hope no one else in the world boards it, lol. Also, Scott and Jaden block their attacks with metal and shrine paper. Yeah, that's what it was. They had that special paper and metal armor to block out their laser shots. Yeah, Clash of the Red Rangers, it's fine. Not the worst one we ever had, but also nothing super special. Thunderstorm, I do like. The Ninja Storm cast really grew and came into their own, and I love that the Dino Thunder Rangers actually struggle to fight them because, yeah, they are facing full-blown veteran Power Rangers, and they had to be outsmarted rather than beaten with their fists, which I found very satisfying. But always a chance. I still love it because Johnny Young Bosch is a legend, and it made Carlos an actual interesting character. So that's why it's a lot better than Thunderstorm to me. Anyways, Clash of the Reds, it's a B. It's fine. Could have been better, but nothing super special. Alright, so somebody wanted us to take off Trakina's Revenge. This is the crossover between two of my favorite teams ever, Lightspeed Rescue and Lost Galaxy. Trakina is back! Not played by Amy Miller because she walked off set, but honestly, after rewatching this one compared to the others, I don't think it's as bad as people say, but it is still kind of flawed, so I might put this one on B. A high B, but B nonetheless. So, Lost Galaxy, one of my favorite eras of Power Rangers ever, and I do love Lightspeed Rescue. They're still one of my favorite teams, and I do defend Lightspeed Rescue as a great season. Trakeena's Revenge, it does have a soft spot in my heart because this was the first crossover event I've ever seen, and it introduced me to Lost Galaxy, but after watching both shows, I do kind of realize that it wasn't as perfect, and as we all know, there was some behind-the-scenes drama. Namely, the big problem, there is way too much focus on this little girl named Heather. This little girl hogs so much spotlight and so much screen time that you kind of forget this is a crossover where we meet the Galaxy Rangers. Like, why shrine paper? Like, did they have Teacher Nube magic paper to block the attack? Well, the Samurai Rangers are old school like that. Did Vipra meet Trakeena? Tragically, no. Olympius is the one who meets Trakeena and her second-in-command Tri-Skull. We never see Trakeena really interact with the demons from hell. Olympius is the only one who's their negotiator, so he's the only one who really meets her. So, somehow Trakeena survived being blown up at point-blank range back on Lost Galaxy, and she's trying to reform and recover her power of being a green superbug. Trakeena has come to Earth somehow, and is rebuilding her empire. She's working with the demons from hell, namely her second-in-command is Tri-Skull, a demon who wants to backstab Queen Bansheera for Queen Trakeena. Trakeena is working in this office building somehow and is abducting random adults and human beings to drain them of their life force and soul energy to give her back her ultimate final form, the green insect final form she had in the Journey's End finale. Trakeena wants her power back, and to do so, she needs a bunch of human souls to sacrifice. She's hiding here, and Leo and the Lost Galaxy Rangers realize that she's still kicking, where they team up with the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers in this epic two-parter. Now, I will say, it's not as bad as I remember, and honestly, compared to these other crossovers, I think some people are way too harsh on it, but it does have its problems. The little girl hogs way too much spotlight. Heather is this innocent human child, and she's kind of another kid character the kid audience is supposed to relate with. She's an audience surrogate, and it's supposed to be cute and adorable how this kid is interacting with the Power Rangers, but it's very unnecessary and goes on way too long. Akira, you're a genius. I don't blame Amy one bit for walking out. She already knew what proper crossover focus felt like. Yeah, Amy Miller did not come back to play Trakeena. They actually get a girl who looks like her, but she wears a stupid mask to hide the fact that it's not Amy Miller. Honestly, the replacement girl did not do that bad a job. I do buy that this is Trakeena. She is wearing her sexy insect armor outfit, but they cover her face to hide the fact that it's clearly not Amy Miller. They made her makeup at least look like her, so it is a passable attempt, but Amy Miller's charm is definitely not in this character. Trakeena is back, she's rebuilding her forces, and it takes a while for the Galaxy Rangers to actually show up. Leo, of course, shows up. He meets the Lightspeed Rescue team. Maya and Kai actually do show up in part 1, but what pissed me off is Damon and Kendrix do not show up until halfway in part 2. Yeah, Damon and Kendrix don't come back until the last 15 minutes of this hour-long crossover. It's like, that kind of pissed me off, especially because we never addressed Kendrix was dead and now alive again. I feel its biggest problem with this one is it focuses on the kid more than the Rangers. Though when it focuses on the Rangers, it gets pretty decent and good. Yeah, that's where I kind of defend it. The stuff with the Power Rangers is actually decent. Leo is treated as a legendary hero. I am kind of curious how the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers, know the Galactic Rangers when they were across in space in a lost galaxy the entire series. But yeah, somehow they know of the Galaxy Rangers and their adventures. They do treat them with worthy respect, and it is pretty fun. You know, I love Maya and Kai, so seeing them kicking ass was pretty satisfying, but the problem is, it takes forever for the entire team to unite. Like, Damon and Kendricks don't show up until the last third of this hour-long crossover, which feels like a huge spit in the face towards fans, because they're part of the core cast of heroes, but yeah, whatever. Trakina and Queen Banshiro have this uneasy alliance, and they both know fully well that they plan to betray the other, which I always found very interesting. If you don't know, Olympius made this poison dagger and stabs Trakina in the back, sabotages her death machine, and Trakina turns into this weird Destroya-looking plant monster. And yeah, Trakina is just a mindless mega boss. I do like it, at least, because the Lost Galaxy Rangers and Rescue Rangers actually get a crossover Megazord fight. Like, when was the last time you ever saw two Rangers have both their Megazords fight? That's why I kind of like this one a little more, because they bring the Lights of Orion, the Galactabeasts come back, and we actually see dual Megazords double teaming evil mutant Trakina. It is pretty fun. We do see the lineup of all 10 Rangers. This one at least felt like it was trying. Exactly like Clash of the Red Rangers, it is slightly more competent than the other bad crossovers, but nothing super special. Like, I want to see a hot battle with Trakina and versus Vipra. Yeah, me too. You're a genius, Akira. I heard of a story where a kid who saw this episode revealed he got his foot awakening in 2000 when he got a close-up of Heather Girl's feet. When was that? She was playing hide-and-seek with her mom. She was wearing shoes, too, and that. Even if they patched things with Amy, she wouldn't have saved us from the lady who didn't believe in monsters. Oh, that's right. The dumbest person in Power Rangers history is in this crossover. Little girl, there's no such thing as monsters. Bitch, you live in the world of Power Rangers, and in this series, the Power Rangers are public superheroes fighting monsters on the streets. This old lady is like the dumbest character in Power Rangers history, and yes, it is a cheap excuse to have the adults don't believe the kid cliche, which makes even less sense here than in Goosebumps, because monsters are public knowledge. Oh dear, there's no such thing as monsters. You live in a city that's constantly attacked by monsters, and the Rangers are known as public figures without secret identities. Yeah, classic Linkara moment. Not to mention, you were invaded by a ton of monsters years ago. Lady, I name you dumbest person in Power Rangers ever. Once again, love Linkara's justified rants. Yeah, that is classic. It's like, wasn't the Earth invaded and conquered by Astronema? And, you know, with her legion of monster minions? Yeah, we are at a point where you are pretty much stupid if you don't believe in monsters in the world of Power Rangers. Contrast this treatment with what they did with the Space Rangers the previous year. Yeah, the Lost Galaxy Rangers and their cast were not treated super well on this event. It feels like they were kind of doing it because they had to, but I'm kind of shocked about how well this crossover turned out compared to some later ones like Legendary Battle and Dimensions in Danger and especially Grid Connection. This one does look a whole lot better with time, but not by too much. Bulk was on Earth during Samurai. Maybe the Lost Galaxy Rangers made trips to Earth. Yeah, that is kind of weird. He was on the Terra Venture and moved into outer space, and he's back on Samurai somehow. But then again, they also have multiverse Power Rangers, so that definitely doesn't make this harder to follow. Lost Galaxy crossover with In Space did it right. Yeah, they did. Linkara was right. And Monster Type Kaiju Daily. Feels like a cool line for any Goosebumps review with monsters. Yeah, that would be true. We still got some Goosebumps episodes left. Could always use that famous Linkara rant. You forgot the monster fight, the daily type kaiju. Sylvie from In Space was a far better episodic use of a kid that hung out with the Rangers, i.e. Carlos. Yeah, Sylvie was a lot more tolerable than Heather. This is like the only time Heather ever shows up, and they give her just too much spotlight. They even make her an honorary junior Power Ranger. She's a part of the Lightspeed Rescue Team, and she gets a proper praise and reward, but the Galaxy Rangers get nothing. It's kind of weird. I do like how Joel hits on Maya and Kendrix, you know, two of the hottest Rangers ever, and like they both reject him. That's actually pretty funny. When the Galaxy Rangers and Lightspeed team are actually interacting and showing respect for each other, that's what makes this very watchable. It's why I kind of defend it and place it higher on our crossovers. However, Trakeena's final defeat is nothing super special. She's a giant Megazord fight, and basically the Lights of Orion and Lightspeed Rescue Megazords combine, and they blow her up like every other monster, and Trakeena is killed off for good in kind of a less satisfying way than, ironically, the Lost Galaxy finale, but yeah. Trakeena is defeated. The Galaxy Rangers actually do get to be badass in this, so it does get some praise there. It could have been better, but hey, it is far from unwatchable. I think it's actually pretty fine. Trakeena's Revenge, it's a decent crossover, but easily outclassed by a whole bunch of better ones. Slap some sense to that person. Being an uncle. His wife slapped this old woman some common sense. Yeah, they gave Heather so much screen time, you thought she was gonna get her own spin-off. Yeah, Heather meets the Masked Rider. Like, fun fact, Ravi's actor was also Sanjay J. Twade in Batman the Doom That Came to Gotham. Agree. So yeah, I actually don't hate Trakeena's Revenge. I will place it on B, but we got much better crossovers. We all agree on that front. Sorry, just need some water. Alright, let's bite another bullet. Operation Overdrive's Once a Ranger. Overdrive, the bane of my existence. So, Once a Ranger is said to be one of the better episodes of Operation Overdrive because the Overdrive Rangers are barely in it. This one, I might have to put onto C. I will put it above Finders Keepers, but under the Poisey show. Alright, we finally got a half-decent attempt from an Operation Overdrive. However, it's still not very good because, ironically, of the Operation Overdrive Rangers. So, the Operation Overdrive team loses their powers because of Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed's ugly-ass son, Thrax. Thrax, what a waste of a character. Thrax is the half Rita Repulsa, half Lord Zed looking monster, and I'm not a fan of this guy's design. It looks really stupid. They wanted a Power Rangers Two-Face, and it does not look very well. But yeah, Thrax comes in and he takes the Operation Overdrive Power Ranger powers away. They lose their abilities, so they have to have replacement Rangers come in, where their magical guardian summons Rangers from different eras, and we meet a lot of the fan favorite Power Rangers come back as the substitute team. We meet Tori from Ninja Storm, Kira, Yellow Dino Thunder Ranger, Bridge, now promoted to SBD Red, Xander, Green Mystic Force Ranger, and of course, Johnny Young Bosch's Adam, the original Black Mighty Morphin Ranger, after Zack. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of legends who come back, and these are easily the best characters in this crossover, because they're all fan favorites we actually knew and liked. Okay, got my business done and should be able to watch the rest. Hey, Jon Snow, welcome back. We're bumping off Once a Ranger, the Operation Overdrive crossover event. I believe this was celebrating 15 years of Power Rangers, at least 15. Yeah, basically we brought back a lot of the fan favorites that people know and love. Everyone was excited to see Johnny Young Bosch's Adam come back, but really liked seeing Tori and Kira come back because they were the hot girl Rangers, and I tolerated Bridge, and I really feel nothing for Xander. Was anybody excited to see him again? Oh boy, Xander, the Mystic Green Ranger, is back. Yeah, Kira, Tori, and Adam, easily the highlights. Okay, it was 15-year anniversary. Thank you, Shadowlink. Rita, remind me never to have a kid. Yeah, Lord Zed and Rita had a son, Thrax, who died. Hey, it's Bridge. Yeah, I'm still not a fan of Bridge. I don't know, I just don't really click with him. Like, he didn't ruin this for me, but I would have felt more if it was Sky. So, Sky was supposed to be the SPD Ranger they got back, but apparently they couldn't get his actor, so they got Bridge. It definitely helped because Bridge did have a fan base, so it didn't really kill this crossover for me, but this is why this is in C. The worst part is the Operation Overdrive Rangers. Why? Because they give up and quit. Yeah, this is pretty much the episode which cemented why the Overdrive team was hated. When the Substitute Rangers come in, the Overdrive Rangers feel like they're useless. They can't contribute anything anymore, so they all give up and go live normal, regular-ass lives and work regular-ass jobs, and it is pathetic. It really pisses you off. It's like, we're nothing without the powers. It's like, have these kids learned nothing from Power Rangers? It's like, it's not your powers that make you worthy of being a heroic Power Ranger. It's you. But guess what? They all suck, they give up and go cry and act butthurt for most of this crossover. And it's why it lost a lot of points. It's only up this high because of the veteran Rangers. Do you think Bertram's actor from Jessie could be a cool MCU egghead? Maybe. On the one hand, seeing the past Rangers led by Adam was great. On the other hand, the Overdrive Rangers still suck. Yes, they do. So, unfortunately, Once a Ranger tried to make the Operation Overdrive Rangers fleshed out as characters, but all it really did was cement their status as the worst Ranger team ever. They lose the powers, then Mac decides to go on a quest to get their powers back. He reunites them after, like, what, a week after they quit, and they unite as friends, I use that term very loosely, to summon this magic sword to help fix their morphing grid powers, and yeah, the creepy ass statue turns into like this weird lady, and she says, that was the test all along to prove that you were worthy of the power. It's like, bitch, they did not earn this at all. And yeah, basically the Operation Overdrive Rangers go on this magic test of character, prove themselves worthy of being Overdrive Rangers, feel free to vomit, and they get their powers back and save the veteran Rangers just in time. So, Thrax tries to convince all the Overdrive villains to form a new Ultimate Alliance of Evil. He wants to revive the Alliance of Evil with this current gen of villains. It almost succeeds, but the Overdrive Rangers get their groove back. The Veteran Rangers prove too difficult to fight, and pretty much the only thing that makes this watchable is Adam and all the cool Rangers kicking butt and showing you how far they've come as characters. Yeah, I know Tori and Kira were huge Ranger crushes, and I do like seeing Bridge and Adam kicking butt, and Xander is there, but yeah, really nice seeing all these veteran Rangers proving why they've earned their Ranger mantles and kicking butt. They are the only reason why this is watchable, because the Operation Overdrive Rangers sure aren't. I finally went back to Operation Overdrive just to see this crossover, and while I'll admit it is good when the veteran Rangers are on screen, the Overdrive Rangers are the ones who drag it down, which is why it's going on to C. I don't hate it as much as Legendary Battle, so there's that, but yeah, it is a very mixed bag. Connor Waffle said that the Overdrive Rangers still had their civilian powers, so they could have located the jewels while the Retro Rangers fought the villains, but instead they just quit. Yeah, that kind of made me hate them even more. Even the Megaforce Rangers, for all their red flags, at least never quit. I want to see Commander Sky. Yeah, me too. I assume Sky is now the Shadow Ranger because that's what Doggy Kruger was when he was in charge of SPD. Since Bridge is now SPD Red, so Sky had to have gotten a promotion. And to quote Linkara, previous team before Overdrive, they don't give a crap. They still fought no matter the cost. Yeah, exactly. Imagine the Overdrive team and the Mystic Force crossover with Nick, the Give Up Red Ranger. Pathetic. Yeah. So, Operation Overdrive, it is still not a good show, but their crossover was one of the more tolerable episodes, mostly because of the guest stars. Yeah, that is the only reason why it's up higher, because we got to see all these cool past Rangers come back, but the Overdrive Rangers are ironically the ones who kill it and hold it back. Well, Overdrive Ranger is lame, like at least it's better than Miraculous Season 5, where all the heroes lose their powers, and Control by Alliance Rings. Season 5 is lame. Oh, and Thrax was a pitiful villain for not killing the Overdrive Rangers during when they try to get the sword. I could easily kill you right now, but I won't because I'm an idiot. Bye. Yeah, Thrax just pretty much wrote them off as completely pathetic losers now that they have no powers. I mean, what, it's not like Master Org did the exact same thing and that costed him total victory. So, Thrax could have been a cool villain, but he should have been the villain of a different series. They brought him in for this crossover event, and he is not very smart. The actor playing him is also god-awful. He's like trying to sound like Axelford and Rita Repulsa's voice combined, and neither one really worked for him. It just made him very annoying. Thrax, of course, gets punk killed by all the Rangers teaming up, and the Ultimate Alliance of Evil, I guess, just disbands without him. Yeah, after realizing how powerful they were together, all the Overdrive villains just say, screw it, Thrax is gone, so Alliance of Evil is over. And that's the end, and all the veteran Rangers say goodbye and say the Overdrive Rangers are definitely worthy of their power. Bullshit. Look at what they did to the Wild Force Rangers, still did unmorphed sans their Zords. Yeah, they stood up to Master Org. Yeah, Bridge even said Sky got promoted and Doggy Kruger retired. Okay, so Sky should be the Shadow Ranger by then. So, Doggy and Cat are married in the future off screen. Are they? I'm pretty sure Doggy Kruger got his wife back. Ninja Storm lost their powers in the finale, but they still went to defeat all the villains that escaped the abyss. Exactly, Overdrive Rangers pretty much gave up and pussed out, whereas Ninja Storm, Wild Force Rangers, and heck, even the Lost Galaxy Rangers still fought to the bitter end. We might not be Power Rangers, but we still have power, since that is funny. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Overdrive Rangers, they still suck, but I will actually give credit to Once a Ranger because of the guest stars. They actually got moments to shine as characters, got to be kick-ass, and easily made Operation Overdrive slightly watchable, so that in itself is a total miracle. It'll go up on C just because I didn't hate it as much as the other ones, but that's as far as high praise as Overdrive's gonna get from this cat. Alright, speaking of which, let's knock off... Okay, let's do Justin's return. True Blue to the rescue. This one also going on to B. So, my brother Wolf actually thought Justin was alright, but that's because Wolf didn't have the pleasure watching Turbo. Yeah, this is the quote-unquote episode which redeemed Justin. True Blue to the rescue. We get a proper finale to all the Turbo plot threads that went unresolved. We find out that the Turbo Zords, the ones that didn't get blown up, are apparently being held as slaves by the Piranhatrons. One of Justin's Turbo Zords breaks free and returns to him because it needs to recruit him for one last job to save the Space Rangers. Congrats, Justin, you didn't suck in this. Yep. So this was a better Justin episode. Yep, Justin finally gets redeemed in, ironically, his only episode outside of Turbo. Puss Out Rangers, Mystic and Nick, yep. Overdrive, Mystic and Nick, yeah, that is... You mentioned that you didn't see the little girl's bare feet when she played hide and seek, but if you watch the episode, you can see that the Heather girl isn't wearing socks in that scene. Oh, that's weird, though. Like Justin didn't become a teen. Yeah, that is kind of weird. I guess he's still passable as a Kid Ranger, but whatever. Okay, so one of the Solar Zords managed to break free from being enslaved. This I found kind of ridiculous, even on Power Rangers. Apparently the Turbo Zords that didn't get blown up were turned into slaves and are now being forced to drive on Mars until they die. Yeah, the Piranhatrons really suck. So they took the Zords hostage, and the blue Turbo Zord manages to escape and goes back to Justin to give him emergency turbo power because he's needed for one last job to save the Space Rangers. And Justin finally gets proper finality and gets to say goodbye to his friends. If you don't remember, Justin was the only Ranger who didn't return for In Space because he stayed on Earth, even though In Space kind of took place on Earth anyway, but whatever. Why drive in Mars like they can withstand it in space? Well, the Turbo Zords, I guess, don't need oxygen, but whatever. Yeah, they managed to recruit Justin. They help him fight the monster of the week. The Space Rangers actually get captured and are being tortured to death, where Justin unlocks his turbo ability one last time. Still has that stupid, unexplained power where he morphs into an adult man. Yeah, I still hate that. 30 years later, it still makes no sense. But yeah, Justin becomes the Blue Turbo Ranger one more time and gets to kick ass and fights alongside the Space Rangers. And we get kind of a proper finality to all the loose plot threads from Turbo. Unfortunately, he does lose points because Justin's still not that interesting a character, and Divatox makes a cameo in this. Divatox is still one of the worst Ranger villains ever. Hey, like, she and Astronema get into, like, a pissing contest over who can recapture the Zord first, and once again, Hillary Shepard is at maximum annoying. I'm Astronema! I'm so cool and perfect! Yeah! She should have died. Yeah. Justin shows up, kicks ass, saves the day, and gets to prove himself worthy of being a Ranger in what's supposed to be his redemption episode, and yeah, we finally redeemed him in the only episode he appeared outside of Turbo. Justin is slightly more tolerable in this, and yeah, he does get to save the day. They managed to save the Turbo Zords that were held hostage, and I'm not sure where they go from here. It's like Turbo is kind of over, and Justin gets to keep his blue friend Megazord. I'm not sure how he's going to explain that to his dad, that he has a talking car in their garage, but yeah. Justin saves the remaining Turbo Zords. They finally wrap up the loose Turbo plot threads, and he, I guess, gets to be a temp Ranger, but we never see him come back ever again, and Justin finally proved himself useful, and he doesn't even show up in the Countdown to Destruction finale. Yeah, this one, it's fine. It's serviceable. It's definitely decent. Power Rangers in Space had a lot of good episodes, and they actually pulled a miracle by making Justin slightly more tolerable. Like, feel like Morphin Grid gave Justin puberty. I'm gonna go now. Bye, Moonwing Entertainment. Why in Power Rangers there wasn't a season of Teen Power Rangers? There's always in high schoolers, I guess because they are strong, disciplined, and know martial arts and stuff. Divatox is the social girl in the gallery of epic villains. They give her toys to make her feel important and give her gold stars. Really hate her. Worse, that makes Malty S. Mellow Mark a run for her money. So, Justin never shows up in future Power Rangers. Nope, he never does. True Blue to Rescue, it's fine. It's really fine. It's a tolerable episode. They made Justin slightly more interesting, and I am glad they gave Turbo's plot thread some finality here, but Turbo was already a terrible show, so it didn't really earn a lot of points from me. Divatox, thank God for the next wave of female villains that followed her. Yeah, thank you so much. We got Trakina, Vipra, Queen Banshira, Astronema, everyone loves her. Oh, and who could forget, Nadira? Just staying hydrated. Yeah, True Blue to Rescue, it is B, it's pretty tolerable. Alright, so got a few remaining left. I know we want to save the best for last, so let's knock off the other in-space crossovers. Shell Shocked. Power Rangers meet the Ninja Turtles. Going on to D. I know I should put it on to F because, you know, I actually might. Let's put it on to F. They meet the Ninja Turtles, but spoilers, it's the worst Ninja Turtles before Michael Bay's Turtles, the Next Mutation Turtles. Oh yeah, everybody remember this show, TMNT, The Next Mutation? The Space Rangers meet the Next Mutation Ninja Turtles in a crossover where Astronema brainwashes the Turtles into being evil so they can infiltrate the Astro Megaship and take down the Space Rangers from the inside. Also, Tenaya 7. Yeah, Tenaya 7, she rocks. She just came a bit later. She only got Space as a villain because poor her. Let's not be mean, give her something. Oh, ew, the Next Mutation Turtles. Like why, I know April O'Neil or Casey Jones never show up. Because April and Casey were not in the Next Mutation. Good lord, Next Mutation was bad. Yeah, it was. It really was. The Next Mutation... Okay, so for those of you who are too young or don't know TMNT very well, the Next Mutation is one of the most hated Ninja Turtle properties of all time. It's basically what Power Rangers Turbo is for the Power Rangers franchise. This goofy, brainless, let's treat kids like idiots comedy action show. It's not funny, it's not entertaining, it wastes all its good ideas, and it's trying to be a campy Adam West Batman show, but completely misses the mark on everything. It's not badass, it's not funny, and the turtle suits look god-awful. The turtles are obnoxiously annoying, and of course they're still annoying here where they meet the Space Rangers. Basically, the Next Mutation were meeting the Power Rangers for a big publicity stunt. It was all a big rating stunt because they wanted to trick the stupid kids into watching the Next Mutation, and they were using the Power Rangers' popularity to basically push the show more on the kids, and it did not do well. It is such a bad episode that Power Rangers in Space fans like to pretend this crossover never happened. Thankfully, it is a one-parter. It's a one and done. The Ninja Turtles are brainwashed by Astronema to infiltrate Astro Megaship. They nearly succeed and destroy the Power Rangers. However, the Rangers outsmart the Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I know. Who would have seen that one coming? The Next Mutation Turtles are idiots. They fly into a thunderstorm in space and accidentally electrocute the brainwashing out of themselves, and they turn good again and turn against Astronema, and they double team with the Rangers against a bunch of Quantrons. Very riveting crossover, right? It's bad. Nobody likes to remember the Next Mutation existed, and unfortunately Power Rangers in Space had its first bad episode with this one. I guess it's only fun for babies or kids from 5 or 6 to above. Or 6 to baby. In Space Rangers should have instead teamed up with the Beetleborgs. Like Sonic wants a crossover with other franchises. Also, SpongeBob now shows up in Sonic in the Sega racing game. Yeah, I heard that. They didn't get Bill or Tom Kenny to voice them, though. I once asked Tracy about the team up, and she was a big-time TMNT fan before becoming a Ranger. Yeah, TMNT is cool, but unfortunately, the Next Mutation Turtles are not well loved, and all these years later, people like to pretend the Next Mutation never happened. They are the worst Turtles before Michael Bay took over. That is how hated the Next Mutation show is. That would have been a better crossover. Yeah, the Beetleborgs. No wonder Death Battle made Leonardo get killed by Red Ranger Jason. Phelan says Venus is the only one who have given the biggest dumbass award. Yeah. I wonder if Power Rangers could be cool in a Sonic racing game. They probably would be, because they actually fit that franchise. But anyways, yeah, Shell Shocked, so bad, it is the first awful episode of Power Rangers in space. Do not recommend. It is an easy skip episode. It's got the Power Rangers meeting the worst Ninja Turtles ever. That's all you need to know how bad it is. So let's talk about something a little brighter. Let's do Reinforcements from the Future. Finally, a positive crossover. Wild Force meets Time Force, and not quite S tier, but it will be our first A tier. Yeah, I know, I'm probably going to get a ton of flack for this one not being up higher, but I think it's pretty good, pretty decent, a bit rushed and has some questionable moments, but overall, Reinforcements from the Future, it is good. Time Force is back, and they re-meet Wild Force, and after Time for Lightspeed and Shrekina's Revenge, this is definitely a great crossover. We get some wrap-up for all the loose plot threads of Time Force, and a full-blown redemption for Ranzik. So, Master Org teams up with these time-traveling mutant orgs from the future. The orgs teamed up with Ranzik and gave him ultimate power in exchange for his mutant powers to set them free, and they time-traveled back in time to help their legendary master, Master Org, take over the world. Of course. So the Time Force Rangers go back in time to stop these mutant orgs, but team up with the Wild Force Rangers in order to defeat them for good. And yeah, it is great. It is great seeing the Time Force Rangers and Wild Force Rangers meet. As you all know, Eric and Taylor get shipped together in this episode, which is very cute and adorable, especially for these two characters. We see Wes and Eric are now total bros. Jen comes back in her sexy Sarah Connor outfit. We get to see the Time Force Rangers back in the saddle, and surprisingly, Ranzik actually gets a redemption arc in this two-parter. Had you ever saw Mystic Knights or Tir La Nog or Masked Rider? No, I have not. I mentioned the Masked Rider when I started this. I have not seen this show, so a friend in need very much confused me. The worst part is the female Ninja Turtle. Yeah, Venus was not a great character. She wasn't a bad idea in concept, but they did not know how to write her very well, and it resulted in her being the worst addition of Ninja Turtles up until Michael Bay. Fun fact, the Turtles Forever, there's no cameo of the Next Mutation. Good. But which version I bet Lightspeed Rescue and RPM? Lightspeed Rescue is pretty cool. RPM is a classic. I regret not watching that one in my kittenhood because, man, that was an awesome Disney-era show. Which version I bet? Okay, read that one. I have not seen Mystic Knights or Tir La Nog. I know of Masked Rider only from his stupid crossover show. This was a pretty good one, continues the story with Time Force, has some solid villains, and a great redemption arc with Ransik. Oh yeah, I love that. One of the mute orgs is a clearly remodified Deviant suit. Yeah, they brought back Deviant's monster suit for like the 5th time, and pretty funny seeing him in this crossover. He's one of the mute orgs. Yeah, don't worry, it's not the same Deviant who morphed with Drakena, but it's his costume. Ah, yes, Jen's iconic fight scene and Eric Taylor pairing. That was a pretty cute pairing, and we do finally see Jen and Wes kind of confirm their boyfriend and girlfriend from this point. She clearly is all over Wes, and they gave Jen that sexy outfit. I know it's not a standard soldier uniform, but trust me, it made a lot of childhood boys grow up. Really cool, really kick-ass, lots of action. Ransik and Nadira actually team up, and I was actually kind of surprised Lucas and Nadira actually are a relationship now. Yeah, Lucas and Nadira actually did hook up after Nadira turned into a good guy, and Lucas actually is dating her. I love that Max and Danny try to hit on Nadira, but we see Lucas actually steals her away from them. Ransik actually comes back and he goes on a redemption arc. He teams up with Jen. Very clear there's some rocky terrain between them, but Ransik actually tries heroically sacrificing himself to save his daughter and even the Time Force Rangers, and we finally get to see Ransik as a human. Yeah, Ransik gets his happy ending. He cures his mutation by absorbing the mute org power back. The mute orgs are killed by Ransik, and we get to see Vernon without his makeup on, and he looks pretty cool. Very nice seeing Ransik actually get his happy ending, becoming a normal human. He and Nadira are now total good guys. Wrap up a ton of plot threads from Time Force. We see where all the characters are now. We see arcs come to an end. Wes and Jen are now an official item by this point, and even Eric and Taylor start dating, which is pretty cute. I love when Joel's wife made him go. Yeah, Jen was pretty hot in leather in the two-parter. Yeah, that's what we all remember from this one. To quote Linkara, that's special assignment attire from Time Force. Special assignment gear from Time Force. Kat, I will send you the show link. You had to check it out. Give it a try. Okay, I will try it then, James. Alright, so reinforcements from the future. Very simple, straightforward team up, but made very fun thanks to the Time Force Rangers. The Time Force Rangers have great chemistry with the Wild Force team. We actually see a futuristic team interacting with this magical team, which gave us a lot of fun scenes, a lot of fun banter, a lot of fun imagery, and of course, kick-ass action. My only criticism is we don't see Master Org and Ransik ever banter. That kind of disappointed me. How cool would it have seemed to have Ransik summon his bone blades and fighting Master Org, villain versus villain? That would have made this perfect, but as it is an A-tier crossover. I created this monsters, now it's up to me to fix my mistake. Ah! Yeah, that was pretty badass of Ransik charging at the mute orgs before they charge their ultimate attack. Yeah, Ransik is surprisingly the true hero in this, so that makes it automatically awesome. So, it is kind of an abrupt ending. Yeah, the mute orgs kind of do a self-destruct suicide bombing, but Ransik manages to take the blast and cures his mutation, and the true hero in this is easily Ransik. He redeems himself, saves the day, and then the Time Force Rangers and Wild Force Rangers have a great party together on the Animarium, and it's pretty likable. It's charming, it's fun. The Time Force Rangers kick ass. We resolve a lot of the loose ends. I kind of wish it ended with Wes and Jen finally staying together, but no, she has to return to the year 3000 because, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey ball. The Time Force Rangers get a happy ending and very much a heartwarming scene of them working together, and Ransik gets his happy ending, and Nadira and Lucas pretty cute together, and Eric and Taylor might have something going on, but reinforcements from the future, it is an awesome time. I put it on to A because it could have had some improvements, but it is a fun, delightful time. It is kick-ass, and a huge apology from the last two crossover events that came prior. God bless Vernon Wells, what a legend. He is awesome. I'm back, sorry I had to eat. A cool show. Enters Kimberly, gets speechless and gets the Adam apple and grows a beard. Enter Maya, balls drop. Enter Jen, balls and jaw drop to the floor. Yeah, Jen is hot. Jen is really kick-ass in this. Jen is one of the best Pink Rangers of all time. But I love seeing Ransik and Nadira actually get a proper finale in this. I kind of wish they also named Nadira's orphanage after Dr. Ferrix. Like, it was, like, named after Dr. Ferrix, like House Ferrix, after, like, in Frax's honor, because Frax died, and Nadira actually befriended him at the bitter end, so pretty cute. This one going on to A tier for sure. It is a fun crossover, and you cannot convince me that it is any worse than these other ones on here. But we do have our final 5 coming up. I gotta use the restroom again, so you guys cast your vote. Do we want to get a bad one out of the way or one of the good ones? BRB, final 5, let's go. Alright, Cat's back. What'd you guys vote for? I want one of the crappy ones. The one with Viper and Nadira. The bad ones. Okay. Let's cross off Time for Lightspeed. This one going on to D. They did my girl Vipra so dirty. But you know who was done dirtier? The Lightspeed Rescue Team. The Time Force Rangers meet Lightspeed Rescue. And boy, is this easily one of the most underwhelming crossovers I've ever seen. This one, huge letdown. It is like they did not care. Like, nobody gave a crap doing this crossover. They brought back Vipra as the villain. Yeah, everyone's favorite. So I like Vipra. I had a crush on her. She's easily my Power Rangers villainous crush. But understandably, a lot of people were not enthused about her being back. Vipra teams up with Ransik and Nadira to summon her Super Demon. Spoilers, this Super Demon sucks and is a complete generic jobber. This Super Demon is supposed to bring the end of the world, and Ransik and Vipra team up to summon it. So, Lightspeed Rescue comes back in the saddle and teams up with the current gen of Rangers, the Time Force team. Somehow, Carter Grayson uncovered who the Time Force Rangers are, and they form a team up, which is very lackluster and rushed. I heard Power Rangers had a crossover, which was not considered a crossover, and we'll reveal it near the end of this tier list. Yeah, it probably didn't make this list. When not even your favorite bad girl can save this one from a D, that's all you need to know. Yeah, so Vipra and Nadira teaming up could have been the hottest television ever, but they barely interact. Vipra and Rancic barely talk to each other, and Vipra and Nadira on screen should have been every little boy's dream, but no, they just stand in the frame together for like a few seconds and don't even talk to each other. Nadira's like hilariously afraid of ghosts because Vipra is kind of an undead demon in this point. Vipra somehow clawed her way out of hell. She apparently at a tomb. I wonder who gave her that. Probably the fanboys, but yeah. Vipra escapes from hell, and it's pretty badass at the start. I thought this was gonna be so much fun. Seeing Vipra and Nadira and Rancic banter with each other was interesting. Then it all goes to hell once the Rescue Rangers show up. It's a shame Vipra didn't avoid Queen Bansheera's attack or survived. Yeah. I love Vipra. Jennifer Yen, pretty hot. She still looks very attractive today, honestly. But Vipra, my bad girl crush, and they did my girl so dirty. For one, she barely does anything in this. She summons these really hideous knockoff ghouls to be her expendable minions. They are cool at first, but then turn into punks halfway through. The Lightspeed Rescue team reuniting is not treated with any gravitas or fun. Like, Carter just speed dials them, and my favorite has to be Eric and Ryan just show up in a car. Yeah, the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers team, they did not really have that deep character arcs. I think the Lightspeed Rescue finale kind of resolved everything, so they didn't get to do much. We do see Joel and Miss Fairweather are married, so that was a nice touch, and Dana got her job as a doctor at a children's hospital, which is pretty cute, but Dana was not one of my favorite characters, so I didn't feel that much. But yeah, the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers apparently still have their morphers, which makes sense. They're kind of Rangers who are punch clock heroes. They return if the situation calls for it. And of course, the situation calls for it. They have to defeat the final Hell Demon, Vipra. Vipra teams up with Rancic. They summon her Super Demon. And they fight at this very generic warehouse-looking area, which is not all that fun. And I love how Eric and Ryan, just show up. We never saw Ryan get the call earlier, and they just somehow knew each other and knew where to go, and they show up in a car just to have the 6 Rangers in on this epic crossover. I thought you might give this one a bump based on her. If anything, it might have been worse without Yen. Yeah, without Vipra, it would have been F, but it's on D. That's as high as it's going up. It's better than A Friend in Need because it didn't waste my time, and better than Dimensions in Danger because we at least got to see the Rangers on screen together. When even Shirkina's Revenge sans Amy ranked higher, man, this must have been worse than I ever thought. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one, mostly because it's rushed, it's underwhelming, and getting to the fun part, super anticlimactic. How do they stop Vipra and her Super Demon? All the guys turn into their Battleizer forms and one-shot them. Yeah, that is the end of Vipra and her Super Demon. They charge them, and all the guys just get the Battleizer armors, the Time Force Rangers, and the Rescue Rangers get their Battleizers, and they one-shot this Ultra Super Demon and Vipra, who's undead at this point, and that's it. They're gone. Vipra doesn't even turn into a giant monster. There's no Megazord fight at all in this. They're just shot dead. What a great ending for your best villainess. Yeah, and we get this heartwarming scene where the Lightspeed Rescue team and the Time Force team are partying together, and they give the Time Force Rangers special Lightspeed jackets, and this would have meant something if they wore them in any episode after this one, but no, they don't. This one felt like they were just going through the motions and doing this crossover because they had to. They the producers felt like they had to do it because that's what they've been doing and it worked so well in the other shows. They did it on Lightspeed Rescue with the Galaxy Rangers, they did it on To the 10th Power, and they were gonna do it again on Wild Force, and this one just felt like, oh, another crossover. There's nothing special about it. The Lightspeed Rescue team is not treated with any respect, and Vipra goes out like a punk and her super demon was super stupid. It is a D tier. It only gets like 1 grade above F because of my crush on Vipra, but even that was not enough to save this one. It's easily one of the most disappointing crossovers of all time, and a rare miss for Time Force. Do not recommend it. It is D. Final 4. It's alright. They had this huge build up to the Super Demon, only for him and Vipra to die in a matter of seconds. Fail. Yeah, Vipra's death was done better when she was eaten by Queen Bansheera. That is how much of a fail this crossover was. Speaking of fail, also gonna put History onto D. And yeah, I will be putting it under Vipra's crossover. This is Dino Thunder meets the SPD team. And man, I did not like this one either. I did not like it. You know, I honestly might put it under A Friend in Need because that one at least had effort. History, not a good episode. The Dino Thunder Rangers are plucked out of time and brought to the future of 2025. Yeah, so today, they meet the SPD team, and I do not like this one for exactly the reason you all know. The SPD Rangers are total dicks towards the Dino Thunder team. This is pretty much half the dialogue of this crossover. Oh, you're not Rangers anymore. You're civilians. You're old. You're obsolete. You can't handle this. We're from the future. We know things better than you. Our Ranger tech is more advanced than your old dino dung. Yeah. The Dino Thunder Rangers are treated like dino dung in this crossover, and if you're a fan of Dino Thunder, you will absolutely hate how cruel this crossover is towards them. Like, it is weird. When even Shirkina's Revenge sans Amy ranked higher, man, this must have been worse than I ever thought. Yeah, Time for Lightspeed was an utter disappointment. Okay, so History, also an utter disappointment. For the longest time, the Dino Thunder Rangers are sidelined in their own crossover. It is nice seeing Connor, Kira, and Ethan. They're all back. They're at like their high school reunion, and apparently they've all had successful jobs and lives outside of their Ranger careers, which is actually pretty nice to see. It's the only reason why it's not on F is because we see where the Rangers are now, but the SPD Rangers are just awful in this one. I do not like how they show utter disrespect for the Power Rangers. It's like, well, it's different. It's not like the other ones where they actually, you know, liked the old Ranger teams. These ones hate the old Ranger teams. It's like, that is a good way to piss fans off. The big issue, the Dino Rangers didn't do much because the SPD think they couldn't handle the villains. Wormhole was a little better, but not by much. Yeah, speaking of which, History, the Dino Thunder Rangers get their morphers upgraded by Dr. Cat because Dr. Cat is the best character. Dr. Cat realizes the Dino Thunder Rangers are useful, so she upgrades their morphers. They show up and help them fight Grum and his Monster of the Week, and they prove that they still got it. And that is easily it for History. Not that great a crossover. But Wormhole, slightly better. This one I will be putting on to C. So this one, a lot better than History, but not by too much. Namely because it doesn't really feel that eventful. This is not that interesting a crossover. Now, the SPD Rangers time travel to the past where they meet the Dino Thunder Rangers again. And basically, they fight Grum, Zeltrax, and a bunch of minions. That is it. Zeltrax gets pussy whipped by Emperor Grum into serving him, and oh, they do my boy Zeltrax so dirty in this. I swear, Zeltrax could have been written out of this crossover entirely, and it would not have changed a single thing. Zeltrax and the Tyrannodrones help Emperor Grum squash the Rangers, and that is it. It is basically the Rangers fighting Grum, Morgana, Zeltrax, and a bunch of expendable minions. It is one just generic fight scene, and the Rangers barely interact in this one. I did not really care for this one all that much. It's a lot better than History, but that's because they're not telling the Dino Thunder Rangers they suck. Also, Tommy and Trent are in this one. They weren't in History. They do appear in this one. Tommy is still trapped in the black dino suit, so no Jason David Frank outside of his voice dub. No, it definitely wouldn't. Yeah, I did not like how they treated Zeltrax in this one. He could have been written out of this because he's that useless, and honestly, what kind of lost at points was the ending, where after they defeat Grum and his forces, they tried to conquer the past so they can rule the future, which, spoilers, it didn't work for Randzik, so of course it didn't work for you. They got their butts kicked, they go back to the future, they restore time, and Kruger is forced to Men in Black neuralize all the Rangers' memories. So, they have no idea this crossover even happened, and exactly like me, they forgot it the next day. Wormhole, it's just not eventful. Like, Kruger neuralizing all the SPD Rangers and the Dino Thunder Rangers, and apparently himself, too. He just erases everyone's memories, and everyone forgets this crossover even happened to save the timeline, even though Time Force kind of shattered this rule completely. Yeah, there's a plot hole where they said they met them before, but the ones they talked about was their adult selves and not their teenage selves. Yeah, that is kind of weird. It's a shame Kira's actress distanced herself from Power Rangers because I thought she did a great job in her portrayal. Yeah, I really liked her as Kira, but apparently she dealt with too many annoying fanboys that turned her away from doing it. Wormhole, it's not that eventful, it's nothing special, and kind of generates a few plot holes, and the ending where they just erase everyone's memories, except for Tommy and Zeltrax, kind of adds more plot holes to this, but I'll put it on to C because it's a lot better than History, mainly because they actually got all the Dino Thunder cast, and they actually did have an epic fight scene, but that's really it. It's just generic. It's going on to C. Yeah, really sad that Kira's actress does not look fondly back on this. Like Tommy Oliver remembers this. Yeah, they didn't neuralize his memory, so I guess he's gonna add it to his Power Ranger vlog in the future, but Wormhole, it's a skippable episode. I didn't care for it. It's a C tier. But finally, ending things on positive notes. Just drinking some water to stay hydrated because got a lot of fun things to say. Let's do... what do I want to do? To the 10th Power or Forever Red? I guess we'll do To the 10th Power. This one going on to S tier. Yeah, if you watch my top 10 Lost Galaxy episodes, you know where this episode ranks. I love To the 10th Power and the Power of Pink. This is the gold standard of Power Ranger crossovers, and to this day, I agree it has not been outclassed. It is awesome, it is fun, it is kick-ass, and it shows respect for the old and the new. That chart looks like a pregnant woman. Most crossovers suck. What are the most common problems and how to solve it? Well, namely, the crossovers should have been multi-parters. Finders Keepers, Wormhole, and Dimensions in Danger were all one-shot, so it's kind of why it was held back. So no Cosmic Fury crossover with Billy and Heckle. I heard Ranger fans do not really count that one as a crossover, namely because it didn't really feel that epic. Was there any doubt? Great team up with the Space Rangers and Galaxy Rangers, and the iconic Psycho Rangers. Yay, my favorite crossover. The fact that you rank this over even Journey's End and Stolen Beauty says everything about its epicness. Thank you, CK. This one, it is epic. The Psycho Rangers are back, and they're going to exterminate the Galaxy Rangers, forcing the Space Rangers to get back in the saddle for the epic crossover of a lifetime. And yes, it is epic. The Space Rangers are awesome, the Galaxy Rangers are awesome, and the Psycho Rangers are still the best crossover villain threat ever, because the Psycho Rangers are really kick-ass monsters. I want Forever Red. We're saving that one for last, James. That's the best for last. Also, Ashley with blonde hair. Good lord. Yeah, Ashley and Carlos got haircuts, and if you ask me, I think they wanted to look sexier for their crossover. I want Forever Red. I don't accept more than Top S. We'll get to it soon. So, was there really any doubt? Yes, the power of pink is listed under this too, if you can't see it. This is easily the high bar of Power Ranger crossovers. This is what set the high standards for Power Ranger events, and I do not think out of all the team-up events it has been outdone. It's fun, it's kick-ass, the Psycho Rangers are scary, brutal, and Psycho Pink actually succeeds at killing a Power Ranger. They are definitely a menace to reckon with, but of course, seeing the Space Rangers and Galactic Rangers together, it is every fanboy's dream. It is fun, it is delightful, they show respect for the old guard, and give proper praise to the new guard. We see the Galaxy Rangers are actually fans of the Space Rangers, and the Space Rangers actually show them a few moves and inspire them, so both Rangers get proper love and care. That epic fight against the Psycho Rangers, it is still phenomenal action to this very day. It is S-tier Power Rangers magnificent. The Psycho Rangers finally get their comeuppance. They're double teamed by Twin Rangers, though I do still find it kind of weird that the Psycho Black has to fight the Black and Green Ranger, but hey, Damon's a black guy, so I guess that's how he counts it. Yeah, they fight him, they kill the Psycho Rangers for good, but then this is also tied to the power of Pink, which has that epic moment in Power Rangers history where a Pink Ranger dies. Kendrix heroically sacrifices herself to kill Psycho Pink with that pink energy. Yep, Zordon was right. Too much pink energy is dangerous. Kendrix heroically sacrifices herself, destroys the magic saber, and Psycho Pink is killed for good, but alongside Kendrix. And we do know Kendrix would come back. Trakeena's Revenge would spoil this twist for any newbies watching it, but yeah. Even if there's 6 of us, we can still take you on. How about 11 of us? Yeah, that is so epic. I don't accept more than S, please, is top epic. My hottest Rangers, by the way, agree with your top 4, but my only personal change is Ashley, as much as I liked Katie. Yeah, I can definitely see why people liked Ashley. I used to crush on her too, but graduated to Maya because Maya was my favorite. Like, pink energy is powerful and hot. Too much pink energy is dangerous. So dangerous it actually killed a Pink Ranger. Yeah, the power of Pink is tied to this one, if you can't see the titles under it, but both the crossovers, they're awesome. This is magnificent. All the Rangers are kick-ass. Seeing the Space Rangers return on the screen, working with the current team is awesome. The Psycho Rangers are very scary villains. We actually get to see the Rangers struggle in this crossover. The Psycho Rangers are unlike any threat they've ever encountered. We do see Kendrix actually dies in this crossover. The Space Rangers are very much veteran badass legends by this point, so they finally got the respect they deserved. Both the Rangers actually treat each other as equals, so automatically better than history. And it's fun. It is so cool. It is my #1 Lost Galaxy episode, precisely because of how epic it peaks. So basically, Star Sapphire Lantern is pink energy is too powerful. It depends if you read the comics, but yeah, to the 10th power, and yeah, the Power Pink, they're both great. They're S tier masterpieces. They are so good that people who don't like Lost Galaxy really love these episodes. Seriously, look on YouTube. The Power of Pink and To the 10th Power have like 1.6 million views, and that's much higher compared to every other Lost Galaxy episode on there. I do think it is better than Journey's End. Watch my top 10 best Lost Galaxy episodes if you haven't seen it, but as you know, it's a perfect masterpiece. It's like my first 11 out of 10. It kicks ass, it's fun, and hasn't been trumped to this very day, but there is one more on here, but yeah, still classic. So let's end this on the positive note of all positive notes, Forever Red. Forever Red also going on to S tier, and it is going under To the 10th power because I just love that a lot more. Forever Red would have beaten it if it was a multi-parter. That is the only reason why it's second place, but Forever Red, you all know it's good. This is the 10-year anniversary special, and still the best one. All the Red Rangers up to Wild Force meet in this big epic event to stop the Machine Empire from rebuilding Serpentera, and yeah, I love it. I watched this with Wolf. It still holds up very well. I wish it was longer. That's my only complaint, but seeing all the Reds together, it is still epic. Just as epic as To the 10th power. Forever Red, aka the Red Rangers versus the Beetleborgs. I see. Alright, so I'm sorry, people. Forever Red would have been number 1, but I do wish it was longer. Apparently there's a lot of deleted scenes. Alpha 5 was supposed to have more dialogue. We were supposed to see more of the Red Rangers bantering and struggling to work together. Allegedly, it was supposed to be a 2-parter, but the producers pulled some strings and we got a 1-part standalone episode, but it is still very good. We bring every Red Ranger ever except for Rocky. We meet Mighty Morphin's Jason, Red Zeo Ranger Tommy Oliver, TJ Red Turbo Ranger, Andros Red Space Ranger, Leo Red Galactic Ranger, the Red Alien Ranger is also thrown into the mix, Carter Grayson, Lightspeed Red, love him, seeing him again, Wes Collins Red Time Force Ranger, Eric the Quantum Ranger is in here for some reason, but hey, I'm glad to see Eric, and of course Cole, the Red Wild Force Ranger. Got like 10 to 12 Red Rangers in here, and they're fighting the evil Beetleborgs. Apparently the Beetleborgs are remnants of the Machine Empire, and they found Lord Zedd's Megazord Serpentera. Serpentera was apparently lost forever, I guess after the Z-Wave killed everyone, and they managed to dig it back up off the moon, and they want to unleash Serpentera to avenge the death of King Mondo. It is a big love letter to everything Power Rangers, and definitely fun seeing all the Red leaders together. Sad we never got all the other colors together, but judging by some behind-the-scenes drama, we might not be seeing other colors get like a Forever Blue or Forever Yellow. Sorry, just reading some comments. Agree, since it's a shame we never have a sequel to Forever Red. Yeah, I wish we would, but Connor's actor probably not coming back. Catching up on comments. Woohoo, Forever Red. AMS Mailer, you made it. Forever Red, still pretty cool. It's a much more simple crossover. Granted, I know the Psycho Rangers, some people would argue it's not as good as that one, but I still love To the 10th Power too much. Yeah, the Rangers versus the Beetleborgs. One thing I liked about Forever Red, they found a way to not completely ignore the other 4 Wild Force Rangers. Yeah, we see them, but they're not invited because it's a Red Ranger team-up only. Like RPM, Ninja Storm, Jungle Fury, Mystic Force, and Dino Thunder. Well, tragically, Napier might not ever come back to Power Rangers because he's distanced himself from Dino Thunder. I still remember how they got the Beetleborg armors to be the generals of the Robot Empire. Yeah, that is pretty funny. The Beetleborgs are technically the villains of this crossover. I heard one of them is voiced by Archie Cow, who, if you don't know, is Kai from Lost Galaxy. Pretty funny seeing him on here. They almost did not get Danny Slavin back as Leo because of the past drama from Trakeena's Revenge, but he was eventually able to come back, and I'm very glad for it. I know he's got like only a few seconds unmorphed, but very glad Slavin actually did come around, because it wouldn't have been a great crossover without seeing as many Reds as possible. I still remember... Okay, read that one. If they used the Dire Ranger suits for Season 2, then we would have had Rocky. Yeah, they didn't get Rocky. That was kind of weird, but considering Rocky got replaced by a 12-year-old, he probably was too embarrassed to show his face. Fair, fair. I see the picture and your points. Thanks, James Madison. Sorry, I don't think it's as good as To the 10th Power, but that's because this also has the power of pink included. And the Psycho Rangers were awesome villains. The Beetleborgs, it's never explained where these guys were. It's like they managed to not get killed by the Z-Wave. I assume they were out of the galaxy Zordon purged, so they were like, you know, conquering different lands for King Mondo. They came back upon discovering his death and wanted to avenge him and reforge the Machine Empire. The Machine Empire are pretty cool villains. I've finally started Zeo, and I do think they're pretty fun. But yeah, all the Reds are brought in for this top secret mission, and they go to the moon, where they have a big epic death battle, and seeing all the Reds kicking ass and killing Beetleborgs is so fun. We see them fight as regular civilians, and we see them in that epic morphing sequence where they show you 10 years of different morphing animations, and it is so awesome. I love seeing all of them, from Mighty Morphin all the way to Wild Force. It is so cool, and my brother Wolf actually really likes seeing this scene. They even got the Red Alien Ranger in there, so yeah, every Red. This was also like the first time Austin St. John came back as Jason, and pretty fun seeing him back too. You didn't think I'd let you do this without the original Red Ranger, did ya? TMNT, Next Mutation, sure it sucked, but the crossover was kind of cool in my opinion. Ah, you liked Shell Shocked? Sorry about that, James. I wonder what happened to the Masked Riders in the Power Rangers universe. Apparently they never talked to each other ever again. The sort of crossover I was talking about is from Mystic Force when Genji met Piggy in SPD, as he revealed he came to Earth to make a fortune and own a restaurant, if anyone remembers that episode. No wonder it didn't make the tier list. Shame we never got any other Forever Color team-ups. Yeah, it would have been nice, but probably not going to now. Like the red energy is powerful. I love the Psycho Rangers, so I see your point. And the Sacrifice of Kendricks, team up in battle. Yeah, sorry, but this one's still awesome. Watch my top 10 best Lost Galaxy episodes if you want my thoughts in better words, but I still think it's better than Forever Red, if only because this is 2 episodes in one, whereas Forever Red is just one standalone, and they couldn't get the Red Alien Rangers actor because the guy apparently moved away, so he dubbed his lines. So, my one negative about Forever Red is, technically Cole is the only one who saves the day. The machines managed to dig up Serpentera and he's about to invade, and Cole one-shots them with his new toy, and all the other Reds just kind of stand in the background cheering him on, and that's why it's kind of underneath To the 10th Power. It's like, I would have loved to see all the Reds laser this guy, but no, Cole uses the new toy so he can sell that crap to the kids, and Serpentera is destroyed forever. King Mondo, I have failed you. And Archie Cow blows up, they destroy Serpentera forever, until Power Rangers needs member berries again. But the Reds all win and save the day, and they have that funny moment where they're all mocking Tommy Oliver as the best Red Ranger. So that's Tommy Oliver. He really is the best Ranger. Yeah, right. What? Well, I wouldn't go that far. After all, I was the one who replaced him. Hey, I was the one saving the day while he was always at the juice bar kissing up Kimberly. Hey, I discovered a galaxy. Wait, I saved 2 planets. Hey, I'm the one who changed history. Where's my reward? Yeah, as Dragon Zord would lose to my Q-Rex. Very funny seeing all the Reds compare powers over who's better. Will you do the 6th Ranger plus other color Rangers? Yeah, I'm just trying to find the right tier list for that. The ones I keep finding don't reach Cosmic Fury. Like Dino Charge never have a crossover. I think Dino Charge did. I think that was Finders Keepers. And technically the Poisey show, but that was kind of a nothing episode. We need an RPM best episodes. You know, I might do that. RPM was pretty good, and everybody loved that show. Once all the Red Rangers are more together, montage, tears in my eyes. Yeah, that morphing montage, that is badass. Fully agree. That scene where they all montage from Mighty Morph into the Wild Force animations, that is perfect Power Rangers right there. A 10 out of 10 scene. Watching all of them morph into their forms in the modern day. Kick-ass. Really kick-ass scene. Hell, the other Red Rangers could have used the Astro Megaship Zord to fight Serpentera as well. Yeah, you'd think they would have done that, but apparently there was no time. Do a tier list of all the evil Rangers from every season. That one I might have to create. I'm not sure if they actually made one. The 6 Rangers is a lot more likely, but good news, I did finish Dino Thunder, so that might be the next tier list we actually do. But anyways, Forever Red, it is a classic. It is still a masterpiece in all this time. I'm sorry it's not number 1, but To the 10th Power and The Power of Pink being 2 episodes kind of outdoes it for me, and it's one of my favorite crossovers, period. But Forever Red, it is 2nd place. It is no slouch in epic crossover departments. It is up here on S tier where it belongs, and this is forever still the best anniversary special I've ever seen. Forever Red will live on forever. But as you can see, that completes our tier list. We'll go over it one last time for any late birds or any of you who just like to skip ahead and hear out my short thoughts on them. Love this video, man, and fully understand the order. Thanks, Jon Snow. Time for Lightspeed. I really wish this one went higher because my girl Viper was in it, but no, even I do have to swallow my pride and admit it was not good. It was not good. Alright, so next tier list most likely might be Dino Thunder because I did finally finish that show, so that one definitely on the horizon, but we'll see where we go. I do have a video up on my Patreon. I did a 4th of July special. Yeah, I know it's early, but what can I say? I wanted to get it done instead of missing the date. But let's go over this one last time for any of you late birds. We did them all, and here's a big pick of my entire crossover ranking. Got some pretty good ones here, but a lot of duds, and as you can tell, Power Rangers did kind of lose that magic. So, one last roll call. Down in Rock Bottom, Legendary Battle. Is anyone surprised? This was the most disappointing crossover ever. 20 years of Rangers content and hype, and this is what we got. Easily the worst crossover of all time. But next is the worst Zeo episode I've ever seen, Rangers of Two Worlds. This one was a mess, way too many plot lines, and didn't really feel like a crossover. The alien Rangers are not interesting characters, and it's a final goodbye to Billy, which is completely unearned and a spit in the face to his fans. Just as bad. Then, Grid Connection. Hated it. It pissed me off. It's a crossover that could only afford the return of one former Power Ranger. That's all you need to know of how bad it was. Then, Shell Shocked. The Power Rangers meet the worst Ninja Turtles team ever. Need I say more? So bad it actually gave In Space a bad episode. All these total failures. This is Dragon Ranger Akira signing off. Bye, Akira. Mega Farce sucks. It does. It really does. This is a great list. Oh, thank you, Mass Mailard. It was fun, and I will give my brother Ollie some food. Okay, bye, Akira. Then, D tier. Dimensions in Danger. This one was a dud. It had interesting potential, but they did not take full advantage of it. I honestly didn't recognize half the cameos because they happen in a blink. This one should have been so much more, but just wasn't. History. Hated that the Dino Thunder team was sidelined for half of this, and then just show up for one fight scene. Underwhelming. A friend in need. A god-awful, poorly disguised spin-off for a show that you're probably not gonna watch. The Masked Rider is completely useless in his own crossover. The only things that saved this were Bulk and Skull. Bulk and Skull are the best parts of this episode, and honestly, you should only watch it for their scenes. Then, time for Lightspeed. They did my girl Vipra so dirty. Vipra and her stupid super demon went out like punks. It is underwhelming. There is no love for the Lightspeed rescue team, and this one felt like a crossover that just happened because they had to do it, not because they wanted to do it. So awful that my Power Ranger villain crush couldn't save it. Dud. Then, our below average, Finders Keepers. This one's forgettable. It's a real nothing episode. I really don't have much to say. It's exactly like Time for Lightspeed, it just happens, but it's not as aggravating as Time for Lightspeed, which is why it made it onto C, but easily skippable. Once a Ranger. Finally made Operation Overdrive slightly tolerable. However, it's killed by, of course, the Overdrive Rangers. They're the worst part in their own crossover, and it only made it this high because of Adam and all the veteran Rangers. It's tolerable, but not by much. Then, Wormhole. Pretty much just a dumb, big epic fight scene. The Dino Thunder Rangers once again don't get to do much, and the ending is very confusing, adds so many plot holes, and they did not take advantage of this crossover. I kind of understand why they started to do less and less with the crossovers from this point on, but Wormhole is better than History, but just barely. Then the Poise Show. This one only exists to have the two Blue Ranger actor brothers in the same episode. That is really it. It's really nothing all that special. Yeah, I love Coda. Coda is a cool character, but Preston is not that interesting a ranger, and it's just there for a meta joke. Nothing super special. It's going on to C. Clash of the Red Rangers, finally on B tier. This one I actually thought was passable. It's nothing super special. Don't take this as high praise, but I thought it was a lot more competent than all the other ones down below it. I love Scott. He is my favorite RPM Ranger. He's cool. He's kick-ass. Yeah, I know he never gets out of that armor, and it's very weird not seeing him out of it. This one I thought was at least a decent watch. It's fun, and Jaden and Scott really had a nice chemistry with each other. I don't think it's that bad. True Blue to the rescue. This one made Justin tolerable. That is why it gets points. Justin is actually likable in this episode, and it's pretty much a basic team-up episode. Nothing offensive, nothing super great, but it's definitely nice knowing that they cared enough to wrap up the Turbo plot threads. It makes it up higher because Justin at least got out of his armor. Then Trakina's Revenge. This one makes it on high B because honestly I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It's not that good. Heather receives way too much spotlight, and it sucks that Amy Miller didn't come back, but honestly, it tried a lot harder than these other crossovers. It introduced me to Lost Galaxy, so it has a soft spot in my heart, but I do think it's pretty watchable. It's fine. For what it is, it's fine. They did a good job with the Galaxy Rangers and actually showed respect having these two teams team up for one last epic battle, and Shakina's finally taken out for good, so there is at least some finality to the Lost Galaxy arc. So I think it's passable. B. If only we got a series with those veteran Rangers instead of the Overdrive Rangers. Yeah, if only. Dimensions in Danger had a wasted performance of the actor who played Antonio, but Samurai still sucked. What? COTRR sucks? How dare you? You didn't like Clash of the Red Rangers? Okay, so James, I thought it was decent. It wasn't offensively bad, but it's also not that very high. Alright, finally at the good stuff. A tier, Reinforcements from the Future. I really like this one. It's far from perfect. The Wild Forest Rangers are still not very interesting as characters, and I do think the defeat of the Mute Orgs is abrupt, but it shows a lot of love for Time Force. The Wild Force Rangers have great chemistry working with them. It is a fun time, a fun crossover, and gave proper finality to the Time Force characters. And Ransik finally gets his happy ending, which is why it's on A tier. This one, plain awesome. Really like it. Just because it's not S tier doesn't make it bad at all. It is still a fun time and a kick-ass watch. If you love Vernon Wells, he truly shines in this one. But finally, S tier, The Masterpieces, Thunderstorm. Yeah, I did like this episode. It was fun. The Ninja Storm Rangers are so cool in this. Get a lot of great character progression. Lothor is finally put in his place. Seeing Mesogog beat down Lothor easily earned this an S tier. The Dino Rangers actually show fear and respect towards the Ninja Storm Warriors, so it is very cool, and I swear the last time we actually see respect for the Old Guard, but it's a fun time. It is one wild storm. Then, Always a Chance, the two Black Rangers interacting, one of my favorite space episodes ever. Johnny Young Bosch is a legend, and it actually made me care about Carlos for the first time ever. I agree with Wolf, this one is easily a masterpiece from In Space, so it's going on to S tier. The closest we'll get to a Forever Black crossover. The 2017 movie, as good as it is, should have got a sequel and crossover. Don't care if it bombed, I like the 2017 movie. You're like the only one on here who defends it, James. Anyways, Forever Red, yeah, greatest anniversary special by far. All the Reds together is epic cinema. It's cool, it's fun, it's kick-ass. They show you all the Reds in their prime, all of them fun, fighting the Machine Empire. It is a true love letter to everything Power Rangers, and one of the best Wild Force Rangers episodes of all time. It is second place for me. But of course, first place is To the 10th Power and the Power of Pink. I know, I simp so hard for Lost Galaxy, but can you really blame me? This crossover was perfect. It is awesome. The Psycho Rangers are awesome. The Space Rangers are true badass legends by this point. The Galaxy Rangers undergo their harshest struggle ever. It is amazing. Not just the greatest Lost Galaxy event, but greatest moments in Power Rangers history from both these episodes. To the 10th Power and the Power of Pink are still the #1 gold standard of first place winner crossover event. I'm happy for you, James. I'm glad you like it at least. Why don't you, Maillard? A lot of people don't like it, James. Why don't you like it, I mean? A lot of people do not like it, James, mostly because the 2017 movie is kind of depressing, cynical, and way too serious, and not to mention not kid-friendly for Power Ranger fans. Anyways, To the 10th Power, first place, last place, Legendary Battle. I mean, are any of you surprised? It was one of the worst, disappointing disasters. Mega Force was awful, and of course it had the worst event ever. To the 10th Power and the Power Pink, both tied for first. Easily S tier masterpieces. But yeah, as you can see, that completes our tier list. We talked about them all. Thank you all for showing up. Now, I'll finally set you guys free. Sorry, just catch up on comments one last time. Even if the Rangers only morph at the end, you gotta know more about them. You gotta understand what they are before they morph. I understand, but it took them an hour and 40 minutes and a 2-hour movie to morph. It was also incredibly boring, and Goldar. Goldar Maximus. Until next time, may the power protect you. Alright, I'll set you guys free. Thank you all for joining me. Take one last snapshot if you can't see all my Power Rangers crossover episodes. I believe I was actually able to fit most of them. Don't worry, my cat avatar is only blocking out the TMNT episode. But yeah, we'll see what our next tier list is. Most likely Dino Thunder. I finally finished that one. Maybe a horror one in case there's fan love for that. I have a video on Patreon. Go check that one out. We'll see what I do next. I might do a top 10 or a crossover next, but trying to form that plan. But yeah, anyways, that completes this tier list. I love the Power Rangers, a lot of good crossovers up here, and a lot of whatevers to god-awful. But Power Rangers still pretty awesome. So, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna set you guys free now so you can go watch other stuff like these awesome crossovers. So, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, or just tune in for more videos posted here on Wolf Entertainment. I'm your Catmander Catastrophe, and I want to say, may the power protect you.